sound of fire. I got burned somehow. I got burned somehow. Like fuck who you talking to. Yeah, this is something new. Can't trust the process when I make the rendezvous. Now I'm stuck wanting you. Why do I want you still? I want you still. Cause I've been waiting my whole life to get it in. I love the sin in it. I love the wind in it all night. But now it's so unfinished. We haven't talked in a minute. You say that I won't give it time. Hey, how you doing? Cause I was thinking you blind your vision. The lies we spit take time to finish. Girl, are you finished? How we should lay low. Hey, how you doing? Cause I was thinking you blind your vision. The lies we spit take time to finish. Girl, are you finished? How we should lay low.
Hit me with a late night texto. She keeps sending XO. Need me that presto. Treat it like SO. How the hell am I ever gonna let go? I think I'm falling. She messing with my resto, but she keeps sending XO. She come alive, never lie. What a time to be alive. Pulling up at 12 a.m. when she call. Treat it like a race when she pedal with the floor. It's on site, cutting lights. Blue eyes, hypnotized. Caught up in a freeze, I can never tell her no. They cannot believe, doing shit they never known. Too much, I'm saying no more. 2 seconds before I'm gone. Done taking all the wrong roads. All feelings gone, but then she going. Hit me with a late night texto. She keeps sending XO. Need me that presto. Treat it like SO. How the hell am I ever gonna let go? I think I'm falling. She messing with my resto, but she keeps sending XO.
She's always tryna wrestle. Always tryna mess with my mental. Maybe lost the battle, but I'll win the war. Try to get away, but I just want you more. Into every text, take me for a run around. I wonder what is next. I can't believe it that I fell in the end. Your heart's a gun, and baby, you gon' spin again and again till I'm seeing red. Broken love, never gonna be sober again. Made me feel the best, but still the worst though. I know she doesn't want any other person in the end. I can tell by all the XOXOs.
Hit me with a late night texto. She keeps sending XO. Need me that presto. Treat it like SO. How the hell am I ever gonna let go? I think I'm falling. She messing with my resto, but she keeps sending XO.
So we're on our way to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman. I think you're gonna really like this town.
Fuck, I think we're in the moth nest.
If we're gonna find a Mothman, it's gonna be out here. This goes beyond belief.
Are you scared?
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we travel to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, as we dip our toes back into the cryptid pool again to search for the famed creature, the Mothman.
Oh, very impressive.
Can you see that?
That's good.
You'll see firsthand when we travel to West Virginia, which we're gonna do soon after I.
What do you need these?
Well, these are my Mothman gloves. I use these to catch it. Look at the grip. I'm gonna grip him by the talons.
He goes to read
Coming
the-
prepared this
Yeah.
time.
Let's get into it.
The Mothman is a cryptozoological creature that is thought to have made its first appearance in 1966. Witnesses have described the creature to be man-like in stature, often seen walking on its two hind legs. The Mothman is spotted primarily at night, and its color is tough to discern. Sometimes it's described as gray, other times as brown. However, the gigantic frame of the Mothman is largely undisputed. Across all accounts, the Mothman is a physically imposing specimen ranging from 6 to 8 feet tall. As its name would suggest, the Mothman is capable of flight, sporting 2 enormous wings with a monstrous 8 to 15 foot wingspan. One chilling detail that is reported in many sightings is the Mothman's unforgettable and haunting red eyes. A red described by one woman as, quote, red like you never saw red, end quote.
Moths aren't even scary. People say Mothman, and I don't shiver.
I think he's called Mothman not because he looks like a giant moth. A giant moth would have like almost butterfly wings, right?
He doesn't have butterfly
He looks
wings?
kind of more like Batman's wings.
Well, then they shouldn't call him a Mothman.
We'll take it up with whoever made it up.
The Sky Beast,
Sky Beast. You just literally put together the two things that
Moon Monster,
it's pretty dumb.
the Cloud Fiend.
It's just as dumb as
I see
Mothman.
let's go through some other ones. What are
You wanna see my other one?
What are the other ones you got?
The Evil Eagle, Dr. Sky Shadow, Mr. Windbiter.
Mr. Windbiter.
Hey, he's flying through the air,
You said it out loud. You're still gonna stand by it?
teeth gnashing. That's good.
What about like No, that's bad.
What do you got? No, say your bad one.
It was I was gonna say Wingatron.
Wingatron.
Yeah, that sounds
sounds like a robot,
Yeah, it sounds
Ryan.
like a robot, yeah.
It was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where the Mothman became famous, hence our presence in the town now. In fact, a statue of the famed creature sits in the center of town for those seeking a face-to-face encounter.
Stop number 1, Mothman statue.
It looks very ornate.
You'll be able to stare at it eye to eye.
What's that supposed to be?
It means you're 8 feet tall. It's a tall joke. Get it?
It's a tall joke.
Look at its eyes.
Yeah, they're a beautiful amber or something.
I was gonna say they're pure terror. I could feel it coursing through my veins. Oh my God, he's got a full 6-pack. Look at that. This guy definitely P90Xs.
He's like a George Clooney Batman.
Hopefully this isn't our only face-to-face encounter with the Mothman. Maybe we'll find one in the woods and he'll look nothing like this and we'll have to contact the board of West Virginia and say you need to change your statue because the boys have solved it.
Yeah, I certainly don't think he's gonna have G.I. Joe armor on.
You don't think he's gonna have
he's-
the bat suit on with knee pads?
It's a little odd. See this guy's ass, by the way?
Oh my God.
The purpose of our pilgrimage to Point Pleasant is to catch a glimpse of the Mothman. But if that effort proves to be fruitless, we can still enjoy the influence of Mothmania that is ever present across town. For starters, there's an annual Mothman festival every September, and Mothman souvenirs sit stocked
I
on
bet they
shelves,
make bank.
ready for eager tourists year-round. At the Coffee Grinder, you can order various Mothman treats, including chocolate Mothman droppings, Mothman coffee, as well as a delightful Mothman cookie
Not a
complete
Mothman
with
cookie.
red eyes.
So this is the Coffee Grinder. This is one of the many locations around town where you could pick up some Mothman treats. You excited?
Yeah, they got a little Mothman lives here.
He does.
He's sort of like the funny little mascot of this
After
town. Thank you.
Good mascot. Oh man. This is nice and cozy. And look at that.
Yeah, feels right.
Do you think he'll look this friendly when we see him?
Probably. I don't know if he'll be smiling like that.
Like,
Yeah, that's better. Oh, stop that.
what do you think his voice would sound like?
So, well,
Me, the Mothman.
no, it's probably.
It's me.
There you go.
The Mothman.
Yeah. Mouse-like.
You boys from out of town?
Shall we eat some droppings? Okay, this feels weird. I don't know.
Feels right.
Let's do it.
Sweet starter and a nutty and crunchy finish. So we have the adult here, and then the baby.
Yeah.
I'm greatly enjoying this moment. This
Yeah,
is
this
nice.
is really something.
This is good. Now let me take a sip. This is good. Is this what those Worth It boys feel like?
Not enough gold.
Finally, at Village Pizza, you can order the delectable namesake Mothman pizza.
Oh, you're going through that door? I was gonna open the door. All right. What the? Jesus Christ.
This Mothman pizza honors pedestrian toppings with the responsibility of mimicking the look of the famed creature. The clever arrangement enlists blood red cherry tomatoes for eyes, bell peppers for feet, and spooky mushrooms for wings.
So this is very fun for them.
He is, without a doubt, a big part of their commerce in terms of tourism. If I'm going to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I would go there for the Mothman.
Yeah.
And these people are on board.
I just like that the town can rally around it.
Some people have posited that the people of this town have made Mothman up as a beacon of tourism.
Oh, Ryan,
Which I
never,
don't
impossible.
I don't buy for a second.
No?
Nah, I sniffed for bullshit. Foolproof. Passed the Bergara smell test.
I don't trust that test one bit.
I do. Because it's my test.
Shut up.
All right, there it is.
Oh, thank you.
He's looking at me right now.
Yeah, those beady little eyes.
Those
They kinda
beady
look
little
like
eyes.
Look at me now, Shane. What do you think of me?
I like this guy. I like his vibe.
I like his vibe.
We got the wings right here, the torso, this little bell pepper
Two
feet.
little legs.
That's amazing.
If I saw this in the woods, I wouldn't necessarily be all that scared.
Actually, the eyes would be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, those are actually pretty creepy.
I don't know. I like it. I dig it. I can't wait to eat his body.
I call one of the eyepieces.
There's only 2 of us here, so I'm gonna obviously get the other one.
There's only 2 of us here, so.
It's good.
While at Village Pizza, the manager sat with us to share a story of a Mothman sighting.
What's the scariest tale you've heard from someone in terms of sighting the Mothman?
Danny Scarberry's mother, she said that one night she had to fight him off because he come in to get Danny. She was like 6 months old, was in her bed, and she had to fight the Mothman off because he was trying
I
to
don't like
grab the
discrediting
baby.
people, but like, I need more than that. Was she drinking
was
that
her story,
night?
but, I mean, she was very convincing, and it's sad to say that she's dead and gone
Switch
now, but,
medications.
that was very scary.
She fought the Mothman.
Well, she didn't.
Oh my God.
She didn't actually fight.
Oh.
She didn't actually fight him, but I mean, she wrestled and got her baby from him.
Oh, yikes.
That's her story.
Well, that was educational.
It was good.
Got my souvenirs. It was good. It's time.
It's time.
These 2 weirdly optimistic pilgrims are ready to embark on our menacing Mothman mission. Let's begin at the main sighting that started Mothmania as we know it.
All right, so this is the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. This is the area of the main sighting.
This looks like the kind of area you'd see a Mothman.
A Mothman, exactly right. Sparse.
Not a lot of people out here.
Yet there's parts that are densely wooded.
Yeah.
Now
It seems like a good road to be terrified on.
During World War II, 8,000 acres of a wooded area near Point Pleasant, West Virginia, were employed to manufacture and house explosives. The explosives were housed
Makes
in
sense.
concrete igloos dispersed across the land. After the war, the effort was abandoned, and the area was partially converted into a wildlife preserve that is now known today as the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. In the 80s, it was uncovered that byproducts of the explosives had critically contaminated the land. And yet, to this day, the igloos and some of their hazardous materials remained. Some speculate that this contamination mutated local birds into what would eventually become the Mothman. But that's purely speculation.
I don't think that's how that stuff works. I think usually if you come into contact with maybe something radioactive or something, you die.
You just
Or
die.
you turn into the Mothman. I mean,
Or
what are
you
the
turn
odds of
into
it?
the
They ain't
Mothman,
zero.
Ryan.
We'll
Ain't
park here and then
zero.
we'll make our way out into the wildlife preserve. It's daytime right now, but
What are we doing?
nightfall's gonna come soon.
Yeah.
And you know I always come prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, there's hunters around here. I don't want to get shot.
No, I know. We don't want you to get shot.
So I'm breaking out Old Faithful.
No helmet this time?
No, I don't have any reports of Mothman hitting people over the head with rocks, so I don't think it's necessary this time around.
I guess, you know, in some sense, you may be making yourself a better target for Mothman to just
Maybe
fly
I'll
out of the
lure him
sky
out.
and grab you by his talons.
Maybe he'll be a lot like Bigfoot and be like, oh, what a colorful vest.
You think we should try and bro down with Mothman too?
Oh yeah, I didn't bring a
Oh,
beer
yeah.
for him. He doesn't strike me as a beer type. He strikes me more as a wine guy.
He struck me as like a field mice kind of guy.
Despite the dangerous material stored there in years past, in 1966, this area, often called the TNT area, was a popular destination for local youth. As such, on November 15th, 1966, Steve and Mary Mallett and Roger and Linda Scarberry were enjoying a leisurely drive through the TNT area. Unfortunately, their amusement would come to a screeching halt when the two women, Linda and Mary, spotted a figure near the TNT plant. The figure began to move towards the building's entrance in a shuffling manner, providing them a fine opportunity to observe the creature. While they initially thought it looked a lot like a man, it clearly did not have arms or a head. It had massive
human
folded
brain
wings
is
high on the back, and
an
perhaps
amazing
most
thing.
noteworthy, two beaming red eyes.
So my guess is the couples were somewhere around here, maybe on that road over there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure of the exact location, but this is where they saw him stumbling around.
They just saw him kind of shambling,
Yeah.
big shambling man, kind of.
I don't know. Maybe he was just taking a walk. I mean, what's it to you?
Well, why would you take a walk if you
He's
had
a
wings?
fucking creature. He could do what he wants.
After being spellbound momentarily by the creature, the couples came to their senses and took off in their car, terrified.
Any thoughts on that so far?
Nope. What year is it? 66?
66.
Few teens out there probably smoking a few funny cigarettes,
You could say weed. It's 2018.
Right.
some grass.
As they made their way towards Highway 62 in Roger Scarberry's 1957 Chevy, they saw the being appear in front of them and rise directly up into the sky. The creature had a gargantuan 10-foot wingspan, and the couples noted that it did not need to flap its wings as it chased the car at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, quote, gliding above and behind the vehicle, end quote. The creature made a noise similar to a, quote, record played at a high speed, or squeak of a mouse, end quote.
Not exactly the most terrorizing sound. And this is why I think maybe these people aren't lying, because if they were lying, that seems like a weird detail to make up. You would say, it opened its mouth and the mountains moved with the force of the roar.
Yeah.
And they went, no, it squeaked like a little baby mouse. That's what happened. I was terrified.
It was easy to do the Bigfoot call at a very loud volume, but it's gonna
Put your hands in the air. Back with my bestie. It's gonna be the best day ever.
be hard out there to
Give me your best Mothman squeak. This is the noise you're gonna make to try and attract another moth person.
I'm gonna try two different approaches to this.
Okay, I can't wait to hear
One's
both.
gonna be an exhale, and then one's gonna be an inhale. So my first one is. That's one.
Fuck.
My other one is gonna be a little more high pitched because it's gonna be the inhale.
The first one was all right. I'll give you that. The second one kind of sounded like you were smothering it. A dolphin. Also, your eyes kind of rolled back. It was just a weird performance all around.
It's a gift.
I guess I could try one.
Yeah, just try and inhale. It sounded like a pig giving birth.
I thought mine was rather good. Sound off in the comments. Whose screech was
Chime off, let us know.
Fortunately, the creature stopped chasing the couples and disappeared as the couples neared the populated area of town. Linda Scarberry wanted to report it to the police, but they were concerned that they would not be taken seriously. As a result, in an audacious move, they decided to return to the place of the sighting to confirm what they had seen. To their affirmation/terror, they once again saw the creature, this time stumbling around in a dark pasture. This spurred the couples to head straight for the Mason County Courthouse to file a report.
First off, by the way, most of the time, people naturally will just run away and they'll tell the story. Very few times have I seen a case where the people would then return to the site and try and confirm that they weren't going crazy and that they actually saw what they saw, and that's what these 4 people did.
Yeah, it's very noble.
Yeah, and they did that, they saw it, they're like, okay, we confirmed, now let's go to the police.
Deputy Millard Halstead was on hand to take the report. Due to the size of the town, Deputy Halstead knew the couples and believed their claims to be sincere. The handwritten eyewitness police reports from the Mallets and the Scarberries is actually on display at the Mothman Museum. The couples claimed that the police put all 4 of them in separate rooms and asked them each to write down what happened that night. All of the accounts match.
I mean, they're gonna, right?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to possibly incriminate yourself a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Think of any time you've partaken in the smoking of the ganja.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Don't
Yeah.
do drugs.
Don't do drugs, first off. Whatever.
Legalize
I mean,
it.
now it's legal, so you can do whatever you want.
Get it out
In
there.
California it is, at least. Anyways, think of you are smoking it with 3 of your buddies.
Yeah.
And now imagine that you were so out of it that you imagined a giant moth creature. And then after that, you go to the police, one of the worst things you could possibly do when you're high, and then you all tell the same details of a story. The only way I feel like you could tell something with concrete details that match everybody else's story is if it in fact happened, at least when you're under the influence.
That's true. Oh, okay, I'll give it to you. This is a point for Mothman. Understand, I want to believe in Mothman.
So is this the part where when I make a good argument, you're just gonna be like, well, I believed it anyway?
I said at the top of the show
Yeah, you
that
did
I
say
want,
that.
Yeah. Watch yourself.
You watch yourself.
You watch yourself.
Why don't you write down some more
don't you-
names?
The gliding
Just cut it off. You don't want that.
gliding is a little too pleasant.
Eventually, the couples and Deputy Millard Halstead made their way back to the sighting area where they heard strange noises, saw strange shadows, and an unexplained dust cloud. A hoof-like footprint was also found in the sand around the area. Linda Scarberry was treated for shock following the events and reportedly experienced some unnerving phone calls as well as visits by the Men in Black who would intimidate her.
I like those guys.
Yeah.
Our old pals.
Will Smith and Tommy Lee are back.
What are you doing
You
there?
hear that?
Yeah.
You made a cameo in this one.
Nothing to say about this one, huh?
It's weird. He only moves when he wants to.
The morning after the Mothman sighting, the Mason County Sheriff George Johnson held a press conference, and from there, the story started trending in local and national news. Eventually, the creature was dubbed Mothman by the press, inspired by the Batman series.
People actually thought he looked very much like Batman. I read a report where a guy said, there's Batman on my neighbor's roof. He flew up into the sky.
Do you have a utility belt?
I don't know if he had a utility belt, but I will say if I was a kid and I saw what I thought was Batman on my neighbor's roof, I wouldn't be scared. I would try and go get an autograph.
Yeah. You'd be like, Batman, you're my favorite superhero. And he'd go, never mind.
Looking out, this is actually pretty serene and beautiful in the daytime, but night falls almost upon us, and then that's when
the boys come out.
that's when the Mothman will come out, and then we'll have him.
Sightings of the Mothman began to pile up. Police estimated that over 1,000 people were looking for the Mothman each night until midnight. And tonight, history, as it so often does, will repeat itself as we attempt to find the creature ourselves.
You genuinely believe that there's a Mothman out here?
I'm not so sure I'm sold on the Mothman, and here we are, but I will say, we're in the area where the main sighting happened, where a lot of the sightings happened. If we're gonna find a Mothman, it's gonna be out here.
After the Scarberry/Mallard sightings, a Point Pleasant woman named Marcella Bennett, her 3-year-old daughter, her brother Raymond, and her brother's wife encountered the Mothman while visiting family friends. Marcella explained in an interview with researcher and author Andy Colvin, quote, "He was shaped like a male, the huge wings, the way he was standing, the head like a bird. I'll never forget the way he was standing. It was like he was just relaxing, like he was just waiting for that moment for me to walk up. The neck looked like it went down in, like a bird, way down in the neck. To me, it wasn't of this world," end quote. Like Linda Scarberry, Marcella suffered side effects after the incident, including anxiety, paranoia, and nightmares.
If I'm the Mothman, and I am not,
I don't think anyone was saying that.
I'm not going to make people feel paranoid and afraid. I'm going to make them think, yeah, love that Mothman. I'm going to walk out into the woods naked and serve myself up to the Mothman so he can have a little feast. Assuming the Mothman eats people.
I mean, I don't know if that's what his game is,
Oh.
but all I'm saying is that what you need to gather from this is that he has an effect on people's psyche.
This Mothman's a complicated character.
What does he sound like? What does he
He
sound
sounds like the Blood Bird. Flappy
Shame.
Spookster.
That's, come on.
The Winged Wretch. Did I ever say that?
This just says fright terror.
You know, just call him a Batman. Why is that hard?
Batman's taken, Shane. Batman is taken. Okay. He just steals something.
My bestie. It's gonna be the best day ever.
After encountering the Mothman, Marcella Bennett also said that she could often feel Mothman's unnerving presence and, like other witnesses, developed the ability to have premonitions and psychic visions.
This is vaguely what I remember about that stupid Richard Gere movie.
Forget about the Richard Gere movie for a second.
I will never.
And just think about this. The Mothman is apparently able, he affects people's psyche in a way where they start to wig out a bit. And
Yeah.
paranormal events
Again,
follow this
the
thing.
human
so it
brain
makes you start
is
to
an
wonder what the
amazing
hell this
thing.
thing actually is. It may not just be a cryptid. It may, it may be, I don't know, an alien.
Linda Scarberry, the witness from the first Mothman encounter, claimed to hear disembodied noises and see items moving by themselves, which she attributed to a poltergeist. Simultaneously, other strange phenomena occurred around the time of the sightings. Interrupted police dispatches, malfunctioning electrical appliances, doors mysteriously opening and shutting, an increase in UFO sightings, and malfunctioning cars with no apparent explanation.
Seems like they're just kind of lumping it all in
Yeah.
there, right?
Or if he is like an interdimensional being, he would obviously bring with him maybe chaos.
If you're an interdimensional being, are you gonna make a scene like this?
If you could jump between dimensions, why not fuck around a little bit?
Oh, he can jump back and forth?
Yeah, kind of like a Cheshire Cat.
Or Q from Star Trek.
Or Rick and Morty. If you could jump between dimensions, why wouldn't you have a little fun? It's not gonna have any effect on your dimension.
I'm coming around to this guy now. This guy kind of cracks me up.
He's in the cave somewhere, he has like a local antenna set up, he's just watching the news. Doors open and close in the neighborhood. UFO sightings. He's sitting there, he's loving it. He's loving it. He's throwing popcorn?
Yeah.
Holy shit, look at his red his face is. Oh my god. I thought I was gonna have to give you the Heimlich.
Okay.
So right now, I think we're about to come up on one of those hidden igloos. The ones that would hold explosives back in the day.
What kind of explosives did they hold in there? Just
TNT.
Just TNT.
Aren't you excited to go into one of these little bunkers? It's a World War II bunker.
It is pretty neat. How much action did Ohio see in World War II?
Oh my.
Okay, well,
Is it all good?
definitely an echo.
Is it? Oh, it's very icy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
It's slippery.
Hope you enjoy the spooky time.
I could see losing your mind in here.
Very much appreciated.
What's this string right here?
I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. Life, normal people stuff.
Pull it.
How are you?
It's a trap.
What, like a Mothman, the Mothman sitting up there going just...
Trying to stay distracted while I... This is called BuzzFeed Unsolved. I'm probably yelling. It's so loud in my
Oh,
ear.
like, he's Kevin McCall
This is BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural, and they just like pretty much ghost hunt and look for cryptids and stuff. It's pretty funny because Shane is like firm non-believer and Ryan like overly believes, so they play off each other super well.
It's just there's not.
It's actually quite entertaining.
That's where we die. We explode.
Skipping forward to modern times.
Yeah, life
in
is kind of, you know,
2016,
a struggle
man who would
always,
not
so
provide his
just
name
trying to make it.
claimed to have taken a photo of Mothman in West Virginia. The photo shows a two-legged, winged creature flying over the trees. However, most do not believe this is Mothman.
I'm not terribly impressed. That could just as easily be.
Thanks for
like a
coming and
hawk.
hanging out.
I don't think it's a hawk. I don't think it's an owl. I do think it's a hoax.
What year was it?
2016.
Shopped. I gotta hand it to you. These are some woods.
Yeah.
Look at this. You know what this is? This is a giant nest. I think we're in the moth nest.
Man, if we just saw a silhouette fly over our heads right now.
Oh, that'd be thrilling.
All right, I'm scanning the trees
It
right
won't
now.
happen.
I guess that's what you would do, right?
It always is one thing or another. Every time you get one step ahead, your freaking car breaks down, or you know,
hospitality, huh?
your rent goes up.
And has it
Or
responded to calls?
Yeah, well, we know what it sounds like. You would think logic would say if you make a
seems
noise,
like we
maybe
can't
he'll
catch a
be
break these
deceived.
days. Groceries
Let's
and
go
gas
deeper
is
into the
enough
woods.
to
Okay.
Strangely,
break anyone.
an outbreak of sightings occurred in 2017 in Chicago. According to the Chicago Tribune, there were over 20 reports of a, quote, winged humanoid, end quote, between April 7th, 2017 and July 29th, 2017 alone. The Tribune reports that the sightings are almost always at night and near a body of water. For those who don't believe, some have offered alternative explanations for Mothman sightings. Some believe that Mothman witnesses had seen sandhill cranes.
They're doing
A
good.
species of bird that can have
You
a
know,
wingspan
getting older
of 10 feet.
and
Though
more
a sandhill
independent,
crane
so
had never been officially
they're doing
spotted
their
in
own
West
things,
Virginia
but
at the time.
they're doing really good.
Although
I'm
some
homeschooling my
unofficial
youngest,
reports
and
had been made.
my oldest.
I see
She
there's
loves
a
her
lot.
friends too much to
Sandhill
come home,
cranes?
so
There's a lot in
you know,
Illinois.
she's still in
Does it
public
sound like
school.
a little mousy?
It sounds kind of like.
Maybe sandhill cranes were what the people in Chicago saw, but there's none of those in West Virginia officially.
Sandhill cranes. Look them up. A fascinating bird. I'm gonna own one someday. A taxidermied one, and it will be in my room.
Some have pointed out that some birds' eyes,
shame.
such as owls, appear red when hit with light from a flashlight or car at night. The McClintock Wildlife Management Area, which surrounds the TNT area, is a bird sanctuary that contains owls.
Owls aren't that big.
No.
I can see someone maybe mistaking an owl for something else, or seeing an owl and being confused by it.
One thing I will point out, and I don't
Yeah,
know if this
public
is
school's
confirmed,
kinda
but I've seen it in a
tough,
couple
'cause,
sources that Linda Scarberry, when she
you know,
saw the
if
the
your kid
Mothman,
is
she did claim that
not
the eyes were only
uniform
red when
and
she
not,
shined
like,
the light at it.
It would
What
make
they're
sense.
looking for in children,
Either way,
then
she
they
also
don't get
did say
to
this thing chased them
have
in
the
their
same
car,
learning
so
experiences. My
pretty sure it's
daughter
normal.
is
We should bring a gun.
she's kind of going through it right now. I actually just got her a diagnosis for
Sounds like-
ADHD,
You know what?
and
This
the
is a
public
perfect
school
time for us
just
to cut back
wasn't
to us
like
investigating.
suitable for her. So I'm gonna stay home and
Let's see where we are.
do my best to catch her up where she needs to be,
I thought I was being
since
carried up into the
she got
trees.
put so far behind with like the
As
COVID and the
predicted, this is
online
fucking
schooling.
horrifying at nighttime.
It was so difficult.
Mothman. I guess he wouldn't respond to that, would he? He doesn't even know his name is Mothman.
You know, I mean, I don't know how intelligent it is. If it can communicate things to people.
Oh yeah, maybe. All right, are you gonna do your little?
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
You go first. I'll go second. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get you here. Hold on.
Yeah, high school's kind of tough. High
Start
school
again.
makes me nervous. My oldest will be in high school next year, and my nephew's in his first year of high school this year. And
That's record being played quickly.
I guess.
I,
Here we go.
you know, me and my
look like
best
a
friend,
nun.
we were kind of nervous because
You are?
we remember
Little
high
bit in this
school.
view,
It was
yeah.
not great. But her son says
You
it's a
really
lot
like this?
different now.
Yeah.
Like, they don't tolerate a lot of the same things that used to happen when we were in high school. And I really do appreciate that because we got away with some wild stuff back then.
You look like a rave nun.
Man, high school is scary.
What the fuck?
Well, if those are coyotes or dogs or a large pack of something.
Holy shit.
So it's some coyotes.
Are you not fucking alarmed right now?
Are you scared?
Dude, what are you this goes beyond belief. That was a pack of whatever the fuck that was.
It was coyotes.
Is
Oh,
that
you'll
what you
be
believe?
okay,
I think
Ryan.
maybe we've been out here for quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna find anything tonight.
I don't want to be in the mouth of some coyote later. That's not how I want the picture wrap on Old Bergara to be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right,
They
well,
can do
another
more
good
like
cryptid hunt.
they may
We're
not
over for
tolerate
two,
like
but I
in
think
class
next time-
bullying or anything
Well,
like
the
that,
odds were
but
stacked against
the
us on
whole
this one.
internet
There's
is
no way
up
to
for
catch this thing.
you know up for
We're giving up.
playing with other people's emotions.
You win
and
this time, Mothman.
I'm sure that
Okay, you know what's funny
they
though?
could definitely implement a
Is
lot
our
more
Mothman
to
call
keep our kids
actually
safe.
attracted the
I think
coyotes,
like
so it worked
the
for something.
You think that was
gun
us?
violence
I
in
think the
America is
call,
also
it
super
proved
scary,
it.
keeping your
It
kids in
wasn't
public
all for
school
show.
because
It had value.
Both
you
of
just
us are
never know
masters
like
of the
which
Mothman
school is
call.
going to be the
Oh,
next
yeah, we're basically-
school,
we should be on Animal
and
Planet.
that's super frightening
I'm
for
just
me
gonna
to think
pause here
about,
for a second.
Yeah.
especially as
Give it
my
one
daughter
last go. How
goes
about
to middle school and high school because that's when you're less emotionally stable, and I feel like it's a higher risk.
I think you've offended the Mothman.
In the end, nobody truly
mean,
knows
that's just
what the
my
Mothman
opinion, but
is, let alone if
it really
he
does
actually
frighten me
exists.
the like lack
Some
of
have
mental health
suggested
in
that
this
Mothman
country
could
and
be
the
of demonic or angelic
easy
origin.
access to weapons
Others
as long as
believe
your
that
parents have
Mothman
them in
could
the house.
actually be an extraterrestrial, connecting Mothman with bright lights.
I don't want my
seen
daughter
in
to
the
be a
sky.
casualty because
Some even believe Mothman
somebody's
could be
kid
an
was having a bad day.
ultra-terrestrial, a creature from another dimension. As for me, I'm not quite sure what I believe, but I do find the voluminous docket of sightings
super
to be
important to
curious
talk to your
for
kids
something
about
that
their
is
mental
not
health
real.
and how they're feeling.
Nonetheless, as our efforts have proved today, the existence of Mothman continues to elude us and will remain, for now, unsolved.
Alright, let's see which video is next.
Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney, the new owners of Wrexham AFC.
This looks like it's gonna be funny. Not a huge soccer fan, but it looks like it'll be a good,
Here it is, in all its glory.
something good to watch.
Rolling Hills Asylum.
Looks about
Oh, I
right.
love asylums.
I mean, yeah, this.
See
this
what
is
they
part
got
of the
going
course,
on in
right?
there.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of evidence come out of this place, so
You check this out on the boards.
I've been trolling the boys. Come on, man. Come on. This is a nightmare. This place is a nightmare. So this is the infirmary,
Ryan is so sensitive sometimes.
old hospital hall. There should be a plaque around here somewhere. Oh boy. Shane, I don't like this game you're playing right now. You know I have a thermal cam, right? I can
This
see
would
when
not
you're
be as
hiding.
funny without Shane, though. I mean, the fact that he's so easily spooked is
Right now we're just kind of going
It's
through
hilarious.
consciousness. I'm not sure what much of these rooms are. Fuck me. Shit moving in there.
Ryan. It's you. You're moving.
God. Is there anybody here with us right now?
One of these days, a monster's just gonna pop out, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I retire."
Who's down here with us right now? We're a little lost. What's that?
Windy.
Why is it that? Please turn your light on, Shane.
No.
Turn your light on. I need to see what's over there.
It's so funny how scared Ryan is going into these. Like, he always expects the worst is gonna happen, and he usually gets absolutely nothing.
Are ghosts real? Just one quick glance at this place, and you can kind of see where my mental state is going to be in a bit here. Just another weekend for the boys, I guess. What is wrong with you? What is this? You are in a very weird mood right now.
This is, you gotta understand, this is my season of sort of respecting ghosts.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Since this is our first investigation when it comes to ghosts this season, Shane has now said that he's going to respect the ghosts. I expect that to last
2 minutes.
Oh, Shane, yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Feedback sometimes, and they say you got to be kinder to the ghosts. And for the record, I am usually very kind to them.
Oh, are you?
I don't know about
Here's what's
that.
going to happen. I'll give you a play-by-play of what's actually going to happen. We're going to go into a room. We're going to do an EVP investigation. It's going to be silent for about 2 minutes. You're going to get bored. You're going to go, fuck it. Hey, come rip my head off.
Yeah,
Like that,
literally.
something really witty and stupid, right? That's how it's going to happen. Guaranteed.
We'll see.
Having existed for nearly 2 centuries, the massive 53,000 square foot Rolling Hills Asylum officially opened on January 1st, 1827.
I definitely
Rolling
want to
Hills
go
Asylum
visit some
was
buildings that are
originally
hundreds of
called
years old,
the
because
Genesee County Poor
even
Farm,
if there's no
and
ghosts
was one
there,
of
the
the
energy
many
must be like
poorhouses scattered around the
through the
US.
roof.
Poorhouses were government-run facilities
Right,
to
kinder
support
to
and
ghosts.
house the needy.
Be a little bit
In
nicer.
the beginning, Rolling Hills played home to orphans, families, mentally ill, elderly, physically disabled, criminals, and vagrants.
So basically,
I didn't know
anybody
poorhouses were a real thing.
anybody
They were-
that
they
they
were
didn't
the
want to put up
class
with, they were
in
like,
the
you
US.
you
There
gonna
was
go
these
live in
things
this
called the
building,
poor
and you go
laws,
stay
where
there.
This kind of sounds
I'm
messed up,
sorry, but
basically the government
we don't
would
like you.
determine which people deserved financial aid, and for the people that didn't deserve or were deemed undeserving, they would be put into poorhouses. And that was the long list of people.
A lot of downtrodden folks.
Yeah, they just sometimes they didn't really know what to do with people, so they just threw them in a building, you know.
just throw 'em that's what I said. They just threw him in a building, you know.
I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Bill, wasn't.
better than a pit. Shame a day, 2018. Put that on
Okay, yeah.
structure.
I was trying to
Better
be
than a pit.
empathetic.
What pit were you imagining, by the way? You were imagining the pit that Lando Calrissian almost fell into in Star Wars?
You're talking Sarlacc pit.
The Sarlacc pits. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had teeth.
A roof over your head is better than being eaten by a large toothy monster.
A spirit
Right,
often
right.
seen is the ghost of a former nurse named Emma. It's said that most spirits at Rolling Hills are helpful and often appear when you call out for help. Emma is often seen in her room, so perhaps this tactic will lure her into view. So right now we're approaching Nurse Emma's room. This is she's apparently German, so maybe you could exercise some of that 4 years of German you learned in high school.
I was in class for 4 years, but I really didn't learn very much.
It shows what kind of student you were.
Not very good.
Same, Shane. Same.
It's
Nice room.
It's very windy outside.
Yeah, just let's pause for a moment and listen to the wind because it's almost nightmarish.
Sounds awesome.
That's some decent. That's some horror movie.
Pretty wind. Pretty windy. Pretty wind.
Some
Pretty
horror
windy.
movie wind.
She was also known to be very dedicated to her job, so maybe if we call out for help, oh my, that is very windy. If we call out for help, she may come out.
Okay.
Okay.
It's there's.
I know. Okay. I know. It's
Literally.
this is
He's
almost
letting the
unbearably
wind scare him.
horrific.
He's like,
Nurse Emma, can you help me? I'm having trouble finding my room. We came all the way down here to see you, so if you have anything you'd like to say to us, please say so now.
Speak louder than the wind.
sometimes he gets like EVPs and stuff, but mostly you can tell it's just like
Someone just whisper.
a raccoon or like,
I'm gonna
you know,
sort of
whatever's
put
in the
my
building
eyelash
with them
on
rats,
whispers for
maybe,
this
I
one
don't know.
Because we have the wind.
I mean, I heard it.
Right.
I whispered. It sounded different than. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ich heiße Shane.
Is that all you know how to say? 4 years of German. You could only say my name is Shane. Could you ask her how long she's worked here in German?
Ryan, how much German do you know?
No.
No.
Why even bring up you know German if you don't
Here.
know German?
Here. Senf.
What does that mean?
Mustard.
Oh, yes, mustard.
So actually, right next door to Emma's room, here's Steve's room. And this guy, not as friendly as Emma, said to be
Bit of a curmudgeon.
not a very nice man. Jesus. Hello, Steve. My name's Ryan, that's Shane.
Hi,
Not
Steve.
Steve.
So Steve, I have a device here. This may help you speak to us. We're just going to ask you some questions, and if you want to talk to us, you can talk to us. All right.
Steve the curmudgeon.
Let's go 200. All right. We're back, baby. All right, Steve. Can you,
They're coming out with a new show, so
Ryan
I'm trying to
Shane. Can you say
watch
our
all
names
of their
back to us, Steve?
like current ghost hunting videos. But I definitely want to do. They do a true crime one too, which is pretty lit. Just talks about like the
You know
famous
me, I
true
need
crime stories
multiple words.
around
it
the
takes a
world.
lot to scare you.
We'll do that
Steve,
one after.
Anything to say to your boys here? We come here.
Supernatural one.
Just willing to be open. You're an actor?
Something about a
Sure sounds like he's
doctor.
a doctor to me.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe not.
Why is that?
That one,
It just sounds like
maybe.
you're an actor.
Well, you did just
You're
say
an actor.
it did sound like you said, "Is there an actor? Is there? Are you an
You
actor?"
understand? I'm humoring you.
In 1887, the Genesee
Come
County
on, that one
Board
was
of
close
Supervisors
enough.
decided that people, quote, suffering with acute insanity, end quote, should be housed in another location within the state. The county home spanned 200 acres and had a self-sufficient
Man, they
farm
really
where
treated people
able-bodied
poorly
people were
100 years
required
ago,
to
a
work.
couple hundred years
Residents
ago.
would also do upkeep chores for the asylum, such as cleaning and baking. Before closing in 1974, the asylum served as a nursing home. There are over 1,700 documented deaths within these walls, and the current owner, Sharon Coyle, suspects that there could be 3 times as many deaths because documentation by previous owners was spotty. Horrific.
My argument is like there's been death everywhere on this entire planet, so that means like the entire planet would have to be covered in spirits. And maybe it is, but we would have definitely caught something more compelling by now. There's just millions of
Yeah, that's bad. You
billions
just put,
of
like,
ghosts
right,
roaming the
Shane
planet.
was here. You wouldn't want that. You know, a lot of cultures feel like
I wanna take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just wanna go out.
there's a lot of life after death.
What, so if you die and someone doesn't put a little headstone on your grave, God comes down to earth, he's like, well, I was going to take an angel up there, but I don't know where that
No, that's not what I'm saying, you jackass.
I don't know
what
why.
I'm saying is, I don't know why God sounds like that, by the way.
I don't know why God
Yeah.
sounds like Hank Hill.
I'm saying that a lot of cultures, life is after death because then your family members come visit you and do, practices that keep you alive. Haven't you seen Coco? All right, so right now we're on the top floor. We're heading down to the infirmary on the second floor. I'm using thermal right now, so I'm trying to pick up some heat signatures. Oh, I don't like the way this room feels at all.
It's fairly well insulated. It smells.
Is there anybody here with us right now? We're about to leave. We're going downstairs pretty quick here. I don't see anything on thermal.
What about in these little places?
There's a piano there. Would you like to play that? What? Oh, doll. Very good, very good.
Maybe the baby ghosts there play with dolls.
Who is this? Who is the screaming lady? I've heard interesting things about her.
Not quite sure. There's a theory, but we really don't know who she is. Some people think it might be Phoebe White, who was the first resident who ever moved in here when she was a little girl, when it was the poorhouse. And she lived about 56 years here. She's trying to communicate somehow, and she's so frustrated, she just screams.
Fucking horrifying. That is an artist rendition of the screaming lady.
Not a fan of this lady, are you?
Not a fan of this lady.
It's what nightmares are made of. Look at it. So right now we're in the chapel.
Yep.
That right there, if you look up there, that's a static camera. It's a night vision camera, so if any of these things move, we'll see it, and it will trigger the motion alarm. I could show you what that
Let's
sounds like.
do it.
It's gonna be loud.
Ghoul alert.
If we go one floor up and we hear that, then we know we caught something on the static cam. That's just one other fail-safe. So if we hear the alarm and we see something move on the camera itself, we caught a ghoul, my friend. Our audio recorder left in the chapel picked up these strange noises over time.
There could be 1,000 things.
It could be so many things, right?
You tend to go, well, here's 1,000 things it could likely be. Put a big X over
But
those, even though
it's
they're very
probably a
logical.
ghost.
There's no way it could possibly be the building settling or a creek somewhere.
A creek that sounds like a moan. Hey, I think it may be those things, but I also think it may be the screaming lady who's known to make noises of pain.
What's more likely?
I think they're equally likely.
You think they're equally likely?
Yeah.
Something that has never been proven
I think
or
ghosts,
observed.
I think ghosts have been proven and observed several times. Next to the chapel is a recreation room full of folding chairs that are said to move on their own. Is this sound one of those chairs?
I mean, I'm gonna say that could very likely just be a door opening or a wind moving something.
I mean,
it's a very busy building.
Right.
You remember how loud that building was
I
that
do,
night? So
but
many
that,
creaks.
That does not sound like just a little creak. Doesn't sound like a door opening. That sounds like
I mean, I
something
feel
being
like if
dragged.
you played 10 different sounds for someone and said, which one sounds like a little creak? They'd probably say, oh, that one. It sounds like a little creak.
No, I think if we put 10 sounds that were all creaks and said which one of these sounds like a chair moving, that would sound like that's a chair moving.
One of the most prominent figures in the asylum is the spirit of a man named Roy Krause. Roy is both prominent due to his frequent activity, but also because of his massive size, as Roy Krause was almost 7.5 feet tall.
Whoa!
It's pretty big. I don't have to do the low-hanging fruit joke here, so I'm not going to.
No,
but
you couldn't reach it if you tried.
That's good.
Fortunately, Roy is said to be a favorite apparition due to his friendly nature. This also includes the building owner, Sharon.
Just been here a couple of months, and I walked in the building with a handyman and trying to make a plan for the day. And I walked around the corner, and I thought there was a kitten on the floor. I'm like, how the hell did a kitten get in the building? And I realized, oh my God, no, it's a rat. It scurries off in front of me, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. Oh my God, there's a rat in the building. So we go upstairs, right above us actually, where the infirmary is. And sure enough, on the floor there was blood in the shape of a rat. Like you could see the tail and the arms and the legs. And on the wall right behind it, there were footprints, huge giant footprints, like someone had kicked the hell out of the wall. And then there was like handprints with blood on it. Oh, and it's still up there. I can show it to you.
And so you think
I think Roy killed the rat.
just to help.
Because I was freaking out about a rat.
Yeah,
Okay, so right now we're
I
in
don't
the
know, lady.
infirmary.
I don't know.
Up here is where the rat story happened. You could actually see remnants of the handprint right here.
I mean, rats just die a lot.
And as you can see, you can see at one point, that was a pretty big handprint. There's a little bit, I guess, of a mark of where the rat was found. I guess Roy's way of saying Roy was here. So right here, this is Roy's room. Oh boy. If you see the wall paper border around, that's actually 7.5 feet. And
That's
your
a
part's
tall guy.
squash.
That's a guy so tall that I'd be scared.
You could see what an actual bed that would be fit for you would feel like. That way you wouldn't have
This
to
is a
hang
bed for an 8-foot tall person?
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of wooden.
It's very wooden.
Look at all the room you have for those long limbs.
That's pretty good.
Actually, not much room.
Well, okay, no, there's plenty
There's
of room.
actually, that looks like it fits you just right.
No, there's a lot of room in here. You ever listen to the radio, Roy? Well, this is kind of like that, but it'll make you want to shove a pencil in your ear.
You know what it is, I think? It's not... I sure can't stay. But it's a girl voice.
Sure was.
Just say our names back, or if you want, can you tell us your name, if this isn't Roy actually in here? Cold winter. I agree. Roy, I heard you like listening to opera music. So, I have some opera tracks with me, and I'll play them. And even if you're not in this room, we're going to walk around the hall, so if you want to come walk around with us, maybe say hi to us, you could do so. But I'll play some music for you now, because I know you'd like that. How about it, Roy? I enjoy it. Shall we? No, we're not dancing. I meant like.
Oh, no, I know.
Anybody want to come out?
It's Christmas time.
This is a male vocal opera song, so maybe you want to sing along. Let's walk down the terrifying red hallway. You hear, Roy? Anybody here that wants to show themselves, listen to the nice music? This is for everybody, not just for Roy.
Come on, Roy!
Too much fun. They're having too much fun.
there is a room referred to as the Christmas Room. During its time in operation,
That's not creepy.
Rolling Hills was home to many children, and supposedly, there was a room where children would go to meet Santa during the holidays. To this day, this room still has
Not
Christmas
creepy at all.
decorations. It's said that toys will allegedly move by themselves in the Christmas Room.
So right now we are in the basement of the East Wing, and down here is the Christmas Room.
This looks like happy things. There's a little Santa. Oh, look at that happy boy in
What
the
is it
window.
with Christmas decorations that look so menacing when it's, you know, when they're by themselves? Nutcrackers always creep me out too.
Seriously.
We could set up our little test here to see if something will move. We actually have a little device with us here today. This dog is quite useful because it measures static energy around it, so I'll show you what I mean.
This looks very scientific.
Well, put on music, right?
This looks very scientific.
Okay, so basically what it does is it measures the static electricity, so when I get close to it, it turns on.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically all there is to it. So, what we're gonna do, since this is the Christmas Room, this is where a lot of children play, we're gonna ask them to pet the dog.
Oh, that's fun.
Alright, so if there's anybody in here, you wanna pet our dog?
Would you like to pet our pretty dog?
He's very nice, he doesn't bite. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
pet
guys
the
are just
dog.
making it weird.
See? He likes it. He plays music for you.
Dude, old Christmas toys are creepy.
Pretty good, right?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Christmas definitely has the potential
What do you
to
think?
be
What's your favorite
very
holiday?
creepy. I think just because it comes from such a joyous place, it's not hard to like turn dark.
If you're in here, I'm guessing you like Christmas, right? You like Santa Claus?
Oh, it's me,
Shit.
the man with the bag. Pet the dog.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
We're here just to have fun.
So
We're not here to
aggressive,
hurt you.
Shane.
We can't have fun with you if you don't let us know you're here. So if you want to just move something in this room or show us which toy you want to play with. But our dog is really nice if you want to pet him. Yeah, better yet, maybe you don't want to pet the dog. I kind of like it. Maybe you could keep your hands off the dog.
Against the rules.
It'd be really uncool if you pet our dog.
I'll kill you if you touch my dog.
Okay, too far.
Don't pet the
Too
dog.
far, Shane.
Just back it down. Just back it up a little bit. Well, we're gonna leave our dog here actually. So when we leave, if you just don't want to play with the dog because we're here, you could go ahead and touch the dog as soon as we leave. No problem.
Before leaving the room, we set up a static cam to watch the dog.
I think something was there, was either poking it on the nose, or it was petting it, and because ghosts maybe don't have, I don't know, as much, basically what the dog is, it has an energy field around, like a static energy field around it. And if you break that field, it'll set the dog off. Maybe ghosts don't have enough to make it go crazy, but they have enough to make it, blip.
All of the Bugaras, all the believers, they're going to say, this is pretty compelling.
I think it is pretty compelling.
All the
What
people
if,
who
like,
really
you know,
believe
a
in
toy's
science
just sitting
will
like-
recognize pseudoscience and understand that there is zero correlation between this shitty thing that has nothing to do with this lack of. There's nothing there.
Like
You
sometimes
understand
if
there's no
a
connection. You're
electronic
saying
toy is
you're
idle for too
forcing
long, it will
this
like
fake science into
beep
the world.
itself to
It
keep
is,
it
energy field that we tested
like on
the,
or.
the device when we were there.
You
It
never
worked
know,
when we
Ryan.
put
You
our
don't.
hand
This
into it. It didn't
doesn't
work
mean
when we were away
ghost.
from it. We were sitting next to it for about 20 minutes. Nothing happened. We leave. It happens.
Perhaps the most active area is known as Shadow Hallway, a hallway leading toward the infirmary, where shadow
Maybe.
people
I
are
mean,
often
maybe.
seen.
Who knows?
In one room of the hallway is what Sharon believes is a portal or vortex in the asylum. The shadow people, quote, could look like you and I, solid. They can be light gray, medium gray, dark gray, or pitch black. They could be normal human-shaped or amorphous shapes. They come in and out of doorways, walk across the hall. Sometimes they'll poke an arm or a leg out. Sometimes
Yeah, there's some
they crawl
pretty
on the
good evidence
floor.
for shadow people running around here, but
Especially if you're sitting on the floor during an investigation and
Never
one
know.
is coming at you, because you can actually see the shadow moving toward you. End quote. To finish this off, we'll investigate this hallway individually and perform a spirit box session in the vortex. It's a shadow hallway. Be on the lookout for shadow people as you look down into the blue light. You'll see it at the end of the hallway, and you're going to end in the vortex room. You don't like the spirit box, so you're not going to do that, so I'm going to do the spirit box. That's just simply how it is.
Thank you for allowing me to not do the spirit box.
Shane freaking hates the spirit box.
Here I go, embarking on my journey into the dark.
He's probably commenting on the decor, you know, making silly little jokes, having a blast. But my mind's going to descend into darkness when I go up there.
Any dolls like to talk to me? Miss?
Miss?
Ma'am? What are you doing back there? You think I didn't see you? Yeah.
This is for science. I'm about to shine my truth beams all down this hallway. If I see one of you, just know that I'll have footage of a ghost. So here I am, walking down Shadow Hallway. So we got some rooms. So, if you're here, Roy, what the fuck was that?
He goes into it so scared already.
Lose it, Ryan, don't lose it. Now I'm gonna go. Ah, Jesus.
He seemed brave walking up there, but he did have that sort of glassy look in his eyes that he gets.
I'm gonna just stand in one of these rooms and just bask in the silence, as Shane says. That's a huge bed. Holy fuck, okay. Anybody here right now? I'm giving you the floor. I think that was the wind, but it sure sounded like a voice.
It was
That's good
probably
for
the
that.
wind, Ryan.
Well, this is the vortex room. Going in. When people report feeling uneasy in here, some people can't even walk in here because it's just so thick. This is said to be a portal, and Shane said he asked Satan to come here, so that's fun. Thanks for that, fucking Shane.
Thanks for that
This is
fucking
a spirit
Shane.
box. This will help me speak to you. I'm very scared right now, I'm sorry. Are you scared too?
A little. You could, like, your brain could literally make any of these sounds
you here
into
right now?
something that you like. Like, they've scientifically proven this, that if they make a sound
No?
sound
Who is
sort of
it?
like something, that your brain automatically turns it into whatever,
No one.
you know, like you need to hear or you think you're
Okay,
hearing.
you want to play games?
So it's really hard without, like,
Sure.
definitive words.
That's your time.
Woohoo! Oh boy. Oh, thank you, fucking God. Get me the fuck out of here. I did it. I did it. I did it.
Hey! You lived! You didn't get eaten by a ghost.
Yeah, I did it.
You look rattled.
Yeah.
What happened in there?
Just, talking.
Just,
to
you
things.
know.
Did you get anything?
Nope. Got nothing.
That's about par for the course. Well, goodbye to whatever up there. Sayonara. The boys are out. With its decades of history and numerous inhabitants, it's not far-fetched to think that some people remain. Did a spirit actually trigger our motion-detecting dog?
I mean, it's
Perhaps.
not far-fetched,
Regardless,
but...
whether or not Rolling Hills Asylum is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
I wanna take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just wanna go out.
There she is.
Another demon house.
Another demon house.
I gotta say, it does look
Whose
as
house
imposing in person as it
this
does
time?
online.
Are you gonna make it?
Well, we'll see. I have a pocket Bible with me this time.
Well, that's good.
I didn't bring any holy water.
Are you concerned?
Ryan,
maybe you
no
got a little
holy water?
soft?
Once you hear what this place is, you're gonna see why I'm so scared of this joint. But I'm gonna keep this with me. I'm gonna keep this Bible here, back pocket at all times. If I need it, I'll use it. You, since you don't believe, you probably don't even need this. But if you want to use it later, you can do so.
I don't need shit. There you go.
Straight to the point, Shane.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate the Bel Air house in Bel Air, Ohio, as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? As many viewers of this show know, I will only do one demonic investigation per season, so here's my sacrifice for this particular season.
You sound brave, but your wide eyes betray you.
It's the beginning of the night. I'm doing a good job of concealing how I truly feel right now. Also, for the first time since the Sally house, we will attempt to sleep in a demonic location.
Little demon slumber party.
I think this is a shot at redemption for me.
Little demon slumber party.
I'm gonna sleep where I have to sleep, and I'm gonna come out a big boy.
You're gonna grow.
I'm gonna be
You're gonna be a big boy.
I'm gonna be a big boy now.
Even if something horrifying happens.
Yeah, my hands are sweating.
Built in the early 1900s, supposedly by a coal miner named Jacob Hetherington, the Bel Air house, from the outside, looks like any ordinary home. Hetherington opened several mines over the years, and some claim that one of his coal mines sits under this house. Hetherington would pass away in 1904, and eventually, the house was said to have been passed to his granddaughter Lyde. In 1947, Lyde would die of a heart attack, reportedly in the living room of the Bel Air house. Her brother Edwin was apparently so distraught that he contacted mediums to try and reconnect with his dead sister. It's said that Edwin's attempts to connect may have opened portals within the home.
Right now we're in the seance room. I mean, this is the room we were telling the story in, so this is said to be the place where Edwin would reach out to his dead sister Lyde. And speaking of Lyde, she is said to have died right here of a heart attack.
Unfortunate.
Yes. So, I think we could sit down here and do a classic seance. We'll light a candle, and we'll reach out like Edwin would have done back in the day. Is there anybody here with us right now? We're calling out to Edwin, or Edwin specifically, or any of the Hetherington family.
That's all we do for a second, just light a candle, that's it?
I'm not sure how. I've never conducted an official seance. I'm just doing essentially an EVP session with a candle.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, the candles always help.
Decorum, right?
Do you want me to look it up, the decorum? Deciding who you will be summoning. Let's go for Edwin. Right now we are trying to summon Edwin and or Lyde.
Lyde. A happy place for her as she...
Okay, you don't...
We're directly over where she...
I know, but you don't need to bring that memory back up. Odds are maybe she doesn't know she's dead. Set the table. Place 3 candles or a number divisible by 3 in the center, and place an offering of food in the center as well.
1 is divisible by 3.
So you get a fraction.
3.
Right, there you go.
Sure, we'll call it that. We don't have any food, but...
I got some gum.
Oh yeah, put a
Where'd my gum go?
Gather everyone around the table and hold hands to create a circle.
Well, I gotta put this down.
Alright.
Does it have to be around? It doesn't have to be around the candle. No, I'm just meaning...
Oh, like this? Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Spirits of...
Oh, sorry. Spirits of the past, move among us. Be guided by the light of this world and visit upon us. If you are with...
No, that's not the quotes. That's out of the quotes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. We gotta wait for a response now.
You're
Hands are clammy.
I think we could drop hands now. I'm just gonna make that.
He broke the circle, Ryan. He broke the circle.
Edwin, Lyde, we're here in the house. We're friends. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk to you. So if you're here right now, feel free to say anything.
I wonder, do they ever like bring a Ouija board?
Move something.
Am I off-putting to you guys? I don't often respect a lot of you.
Do you not like his vibe? I wouldn't blame you. Is anybody here with us right now? Could you blow this candle out?
Dang, Ryan, that's asking a lot, bro.
Okay, I think we're okay. I mean, I'm fine. We're downstairs. We'll move up.
That's true.
I'll get uneasy.
That was me. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Edwin would pass away himself in 1962, and after that, ownership of the house passed from owner to owner. Families that lived there only did so momentarily after strange activity in the house prompted them to leave. Eventually, the home sat abandoned. During this time, neighbors would claim to see activity within the seemingly vacant home, such as people moving about, peering out of the home's windows. Other than the deaths
Could
in
be
the
a nosy,
house,
bro.
nobody knows why this seemingly normal home is ripe with activity. Some point to the notion that the house allegedly sits on a ley line, which are unseen lines connecting important physical/spiritual markers for ancient cultures. Other people point to the fact that the land beneath the house sits adjacent to what the current owner claims are Native American burial caves. And finally, there's the possibility that past coal mine accidents contribute to the unrest. Either way, something is not right at the Bel Air house. Perhaps that's why it sat abandoned until Kristen Lee. After her previous home had been destroyed by flash floods, Kristen Lee understandably thought her luck had changed when she managed to buy the beautiful Bel Air home at a foreclosure sale for reportedly only $46,000. In 2005, Kristen Lee and her family moved into the Bel Air house, marveling at what was seemingly a steal. Soon after moving in, it became apparent why the house was abandoned. Lee would hear voices, things would disappear mysteriously, and she would hear footsteps in the attic. One night, while napping on the living room couch, Kristen claims she woke to a man standing in her living room. Terrified, Kristen watched as the man walked away and vanished before her eyes. Quote, "I was not sure if I was dreaming or had actually seen a ghost. I looked around the room and everything was in its place. However, the room was freezing cold. I saw my breath."
It's really hard with like eyewitness statements because you never know what state of mind somebody was in when they witnessed these things happen. I don't know what their drug habits are like, or if they're stressed out from work, or
about him was I could see straight through him, and I could see
you never
through
know.
the foyer too. And he had a flat affect. There was no emotion, or there was nothing on his face. It was just very flat.
And to that point, had weird things been happening leading up to that, or was that the first encounter?
For me, it was the first encounter because we were homeless. We were affected by 2 flash floods. So, in my mind, I thought, this is probably because we're working too hard. We're adjusting to the house. So I kind of just let it go off to the side in the back of my mind, and that's where we left it. But it was very unexplainable at that point in time. And then later on, down the line, years later, I finally understood that I wasn't just hired. We weren't just adjusting to the house, that it was a ghost. It was a full apparition of a man.
So this is the living room?
Possibly.
This is where Kristen was asleep on the couch, where she encountered the gray man, the apparition in here that disappeared as he walked out. Did you hear that?
Sounded like a little baby doll.
Disappeared as he walked out. As he walked out.
Like, mama.
You heard that, right? Yeah, I got fucking chills. What the fuck was that?
Like a little.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that you? Who was that? Could you do that again? I hate this house already.
Shut up, kind of like that?
Hetherington family, I'm Ryan, that's Shane. We're here in your house. We hear you're all very nice people. And we also hear that you have somebody in this house or something that may not be as nice. And maybe we could help you with that. So if you want to talk to us about it right now, if you want to say anything, just let us know. You could say something, you could move something. I heard you get. Is that you? Who is that?
I heard nothing. Did you hear something?
Footsteps up there. No, listen!
It does sound like creaking up there. I wouldn't like label it a footstep, but I hear something.
Footsteps up there.
Yeah, go ahead and explain it away.
At first, Kristen blames stress and says of that time, quote, "I thought I was just tired and questioned my sanity. I never believed in the paranormal because I'm a trained forensic mental health professional, as well as a master-level psychologist. I blamed psychology until there was no more psychological reasoning," end quote.
What do you think about? Because she was skeptical at first, as most people would be, or some people would be. You would probably be skeptical at first. She blamed it on stress of the move. She didn't really believe what she was seeing.
Sounds logical.
I mean, I feel like that checks your box of like the first thing you would do. That's admirable.
It does, yeah. That's good, you know. I trust her.
But the thing is, like, once that happens, and then another
wouldn't
experience
go that far,
happens
Shane.
that you can't explain away, then you can see when you
Start to stack up.
and that's when it becomes like frustrating because then it's like
You know, it's tough with these things because I don't necessarily believe in it, but, you know, listening to her story, she tells it with such conviction. I don't not believe her. I don't not believe that she experienced these things.
yeah.
You know? Yeah. I just don't believe.
They're exactly
Yeah.
right.
There's a part of your brain that you can't. There's a hurdle you can't jump over. That you literally cannot get over this one thing.
Yes, there is a moat that separates fact from fiction in my brain.
And you have your very heart set in what your definition of fact is. As do I.
I mean, yeah.
Provable thing.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Alright then. Alright,
I
moving.
mean, that's.
Yeah, okay, I mean, I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs.
Yeah,
we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
Hey, that's the show, right?
That's the show.
Yeah.
And though Kristen tried to ignore the signs, the encounters continued to escalate and get more violent in nature. The breaking point for Kristen was an incident involving her dog, Bella.
Where was the point when you decided this is what it is? It's actually a ghost. What I saw was actually what I saw.
Well, this part is very supernatural. This is something that I still can't explain today. And I was upstairs. We had moved around so many different times, bedroom to bedroom. We were in the back bedroom. It was just my dog Bella and I, and everybody had gone out that night. And I felt like paralysis. It really did. So of course I blamed psychology again. That's what I always blamed. And I couldn't move. And there was this dense, dark mass that was just floating toward me. And then it finally lifted Bella up because she was barking viciously again. She was on top of me. Her claws were going inside of my rib cage to where it actually hurt. And she was on top of me and I actually felt her breath in my face. And she lifted her up, and it just slammed her up against the wall. And the... Yeah.
I don't mean to.
I'm
sort of. I'm not laughing at it. I'm sort of. You know, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Welcome to the Blair House.
Sorry, I laughed at you.
This is just what he does.
I mean,
This is where the infamous dog incident happened. So she was sleeping right here. Her dog was next to her. Something came in the room. She felt paralyzed, you know, similar to sleep paralysis. But then, dog levitates and right into that wall. It's this window right
I mean,
here
if it's some
seems
type
to
of
be where the dog
psychosis, logically it would be a
So,
hallucination, and
we're
she threw her own
continuously
dog into the
standing
wall.
on the portal. She said her dog was often unnerved by shit that's on this room.
A lot of scratches.
Big dog.
You know how fucking sick that is to throw a dog across a room like that?
Yeah, you gotta be a real piece of shit. I don't know what kind of door is in here, or what perhaps threw that dog that one night. But whatever it is it here right now? Is there anything passing by right now? Just follow our voice. We just want to talk.
We just want to talk.
We're just, you know, we're just two guys looking to make some conversation.
Just a couple of dreamers.
I'm gonna fire up the spirit box.
Okay?
Is there anything in this room with us? What was that? Is there anything in this room with us? What was that? Who's here with us right now? Who is in this house?
Is it one of the Hetheringtons?
Or is it something else? Is there anybody else? Anybody here that was here before this house was built?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti? Tell us your name.
Spaghetti.
Apple tater?
Last chance. Who is in this house?
That just sounded like a wailing.
Waiting. Yeah, me too, bud.
Lee had to rent another apartment because she found the house unlivable and unsafe. However, Lee was still owner of the Bel Air house, and consequently, she made attempts to rent out the house. Unfortunately, her attempts were
Not that like everybody is a hallucinator, but
rented from her would move in and
how much psychosomatic and stress, you know, like it just, I don't know what position these people are in.
Of $1, which was refused. One article states that locals were wise to the unsafe nature of the home.
You're seeing where the frustration is starting to mount as all these measures are taken to be rid of this place.
Yeah.
And it just, for whatever reason, it's like latched on, like a parasite.
It's a curse.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I've read a lot of these stories. I haven't seen anything like this where someone is making so much concerted effort to get rid of something and they just can't seem to. It's like the worst version of a bad penny.
It's like the house itself is an entity.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why are you rubbing your hands together?
Right? It's like the house itself is sort of...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
an entity.
I'm just saying, regardless of whether or not you believe, it's easy to empathize with the situation, or sympathize, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, we reached an agreement there. We did. Good. Should we high five or something? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I wanna take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just wanna go out.
Didn't feel right.
It was not good.
This would lead to the revelation of turning the house into a destination for paranormal investigators, which would save the house and perhaps lead to the answer that all who are interested in the paranormal strive to answer. Are ghosts real? But as promised in the intro, we're not here just for ghosts. We're also here to confront something that may not be human at all, which leads us to Emily Davis. The name Lee gave to the house's child spirit, a small girl. Upon research, an Emily may have existed in connection with the house, but it's by no means definitive. However, based on our past experience in the Sally house, I learned that many times, demons or non-human entities will present themselves as something less formidable to trick those that encounter them. Sometimes, that can include appearing as a child. Emily is said to have made
Seems legit.
contact most often in the attic, and it's no surprise that the attic is where Lee feels the strongest sense of oppression.
We're gonna go up to the attic later. We're gonna see what's up there.
Great, all right. Let's find ourselves a Emily lady.
I hope not. Emily Lee. Jesus Christ.
Little pigtail demon. Are these demons? Are they big, like, hellish ghouls with just a little blonde wig on? Is that what we're talking about?
No, I think they could accurately make themselves manifest in the form of a little child.
Yeah.
Like I said this to you before, they're not going to come out with the horns right away because no one's going to be like, oh, I want to be friends with that thing. But if you see a little girl throwing a ball to you, you're like, yeah, I'll play catch for a
It's
little
just
bit.
weird that is it like a character creator in The Sims? Like they pick out a little pink frilly dress and they're like, I don't like that one.
No.
Maybe some overalls.
No, that's not. Oh, final phase. Yeah, I mean, it's one big writing noise.
Yeah, right.
One thing to note, there was a lock on the outside of the door.
Always very fun. I guess you do that in case a little wily raccoon gets in there, right? You know what? At some point tonight, I'm gonna lock you in here.
Don't do it.
Oh, this is a big one.
said that you feel really oppressive energy up there.
However, Emily is not the sole resident of the attic. According to Kristen, a boy fell to his death from a window in the attic. But Kristen believes the boy may have been pushed. By whom, nobody can say for sure. But Kristen seems to suggest that the entity referring to itself as Emily may be responsible.
Apparently there was a servant named Gary who had a son that went right out this window, an event that almost repeated itself 3 times.
Yeah, how many people are going through windows in this house? I guess I'm just realizing now that that seems to happen to many people.
I mean, it kind of tells you what kind of thing is up here, but it's not so much that it's dragging them from another part of the room. They just, people who don't know the history of the house seem to just be drawn to this room, almost in a trance-like state. Also, I hear Emily likes to play piano.
If you're a demon, walk through that door. Walk through whatever portal you have to get into this room. Because we are 2 willing individuals.
Don't include me in that.
Huh?
No, you can walk in the room, just don't go inside me, you know? By the way, if we hear that go off while we're sleeping, I'm gonna lose my fucking...
Yeah, you're gonna poop your pants.
He's gonna poop his pants. Hey, babe. Wow. Housework.
That was a loud one. So if anyone wants to say anything, now is the time to do so. Who's up here? Emily, if you're here, say something.
Emily, is that you?
What the fuck? What are you trying to say?
Emily!
Don't yell at her.
You're trying to make us go to sleep and feel safe so you can start fucking with us when we're asleep. Pretty uncool. Turning it off. I can't believe after all you've done, you're not going to show yourself right now. You're not going to say anything. Not even show us you're here. Just make a little knocking noise. One of these. We hear you walking around up here. All right, we'll be back. And I'm coming with my bed.
Gonna turn this into my rumpus room.
Unfortunately, we now enter the final phase of our investigation, sleeping in the house.
So, getting ready for the night. Shane's all mummified. We also have Emily's little piano. Let's try and get some sleep.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
I am kind of hungry though.
I had some goldfish. You just brushed your teeth.
What if we ordered a pizza?
What if we ordered a pizza though?
How's it going?
You got that?
I got this. Sign this right. Oh shit, what's that total?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, have a good one.
What if we ordered a pizza though?
Chunky dough. Jesus, we're tearing through that. It's good.
Anyways, we're gonna go to sleep now, so whatever's up here, hopefully you don't fuck with us. Do know that there is a camera right over there. So
sure, you're welcome.
You're welcome to try.
Fuck around with the boys, but please know this: once you do, the whole world's gonna know.
Alrighty. Another overnight in the books.
Yeah!
Time to pack up. Get the fuck out of here.
Do you believe me now when I say that maybe we're both demon-proof?
We're not demon-proof.
I think we might be.
I think we caught a demon in a slumber.
It's been a lovely stay in this quiet, uneventful house.
Well, demon.
Oh, you're getting cocky.
Well, demon.
You got me in your clutches.
Aha!
But not today, demon. Not
Yeah,
today.
that's good.
I'm done with this place. Deuces, demon. I'm mobile.
The house is cleansed. Yeah,
That was as triumphant as I
not
like.
cool.
Take a last look at it. Never gonna see it again.
After spending the night at the Bel Air house, our sense of what resides there is no clearer than before. But the house's history of scaring away residents, including Kristen Lee, is enough to approach the house.
Shit, maybe the house isn't haunted, but like maybe she's haunted.
Infesting a home
Somebody
full
could have
of
hexed her or
spirits.
something.
No one can say for certain. And for now, whether or not the Bel Air house is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
Unsolved. Wow.
I wanna take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just wanna go out.
So here we are, the road to Ohio State Reformatory.
Another prison for the boys. They're opening up the prison for us.
We're here to find some ghosts. And this looks like a place we'll find them. This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio, as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? This enormous prison was notorious for violence and poor conditions and is considered one of the most haunted places in the U.S. Right now we're sitting in a holding cell. This is where people would go before they were sent off to whatever block they were going to go.
Very appropriate as we're about to dive into the belly of the beast.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Opening on September 15th, 1896, Ohio State Reformatory was constructed in Mansfield, Ohio, on top of the former site of a Union Army training ground in the Civil War. At current day, the main building of the reformatory has a gargantuan footprint of 250,000 square feet. In fact, the 6-story east cell block, containing 600 cells, is the largest freestanding steel cell block in the world. The architecture, conceived by architect Levi T. Schofield, is Gothic in nature, invoking the feeling of castles. Conditions inside of the prison, mixed with the design, would earn the reformatory the unaffectionate nickname of, quote, Dracula's Castle, end quote.
This is the administrative building, that's why everything is so nice. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
look at
it's
this.
beautiful tile work. Air Force One, they filmed Air Force One here? Air Force One, actually, now that I think of it, remember the reason they hijacked the plane is to release for the...
I'm gonna go ahead and cut you off right there because I don't give a shit. We're gonna move over here.
Okay.
Now, here's an appropriate movie reference. I haven't even seen Shawshank, but I know those steps.
Oh, so you can make movie references?
But that's because it's very visual. Look at it.
Well, there's no plaque here for that. There was a plaque for the Air Force One
Because
thing.
you don't need a plaque, because you're like, yeah, those are the stairs from Shawshank.
Unbelievable. Whoa. Yeah, they keep going.
Wow.
You're quite taken with these.
I mean, I get it. It's kind of this weird juxtaposition. Dracula's castle, perhaps, appropriate.
Not all that. Yeah, not all that. Ooh, some nice exposed brick here.
Yeah, but it's tasteful.
Yeah.
The reformatory began with good intentions, as it was meant to be a place where first-time offenders and minor criminals would come to literally reform themselves. There was a school, a gym, industrial training areas to teach the inmates a trade, and regular chapel service. However, as funds diminished and the need for prison space escalated, the reformatory eventually became overcrowded, sometimes stuffing 4 inmates to a cell, and the facilities fell into disrepair.
Super
To make
inhumane.
matters worse, the prison was no longer exclusive to minor offenders, and eventually became a maximum security prison, taking in hardened and violent criminals.
4 people in a cell, that's a lot.
I mean,
That's
you
a
put
lot.
any normal people in a room that's too small. Like if you're in a dorm in college. you hate your
Literally.
roommate,
It's tough business.
listening to music too loud when I'm trying to study, cooking a top ramen in the microwave when I'm trying to sleep.
You got some axes
Breathing
to
too
grind?
loud,
No.
bro.
Oh.
No.
Fuck you, Roland.
Roland?
As the population increased and the conditions worsened, mistreatment from guards became commonplace. For instance, as early as July 15, 1898, a story ran in the New York Times stating 45 prisoners were hung by their thumbs after going on a strike because they no longer had access to tobacco. They were also given only 1 meal a day as punishment.
Hung by their thumbs.
That?
Why? Why would you do that?
They wouldn't shut up.
It doesn't sound like the worst possible thing to do
Oh,
to
it does to
someone.
me.
Won't they
Doesn't
just
sound
pop right
freaking
out of the
great.
sockets? Oh, I don't like that one bit.
If they hung me by my thumbs, I'd be pretty upset.
Well, it's not the worst thing you could do. They could give you a little, a paddle to the bottom or whatever.
You would rather be hung by your thumbs than take a little spanking?
It could be a big, big paddle.
Did you not get spanked when you were a kid?
No.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. What the fuck is all I have to say to that.
They didn't like the thumb talk.
Do you not like the thumb talk? Was it too much thumb talk? I thought we went about 2 minutes long on the thumb.
They don't like the thumb talk.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck, holy fuck.
It's clearly a raccoon, Ryan.
Something happened here. That sucks. What was it like?
What do you think you're gonna get right now?
I feel like we should go see what that is, to be honest.
So we're walking over to the source of the disturbance.
As you should.
It's not
No,
that.
it wasn't that. Hello? I'm gonna lose my mind. So it did that twice? Within the span of 10 seconds, but nothing
But we
else?
can confirm that it did sound like this, right?
Yeah?
That was the sound.
Do you think the wind's gonna do that twice?
Not moving.
Well, shit.
So,
I wanna take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just wanna go.
All these damn commercials. We don't call them commercials anymore, do we? We call them ads now, because we're, not in the 90s anymore.
Alright. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
now there is a lot of wind moving through now. So that did happen.
Who is it?
That did
Shut
happen.
up! Who is it?
It did happen right as the wind picked up. You did notice that.
But now it came from over here.
Yeah. Hey, there it is.
Maybe it was always coming from over there.
What? There's your.
Is it? Where is it?
There's a logical explanation for you.
Ah, okay, there it is. Huh. There we go. There you go.
Yep.
But if we hadn't seen that,
Investigate.
If we hadn't seen that,
You would-
we wouldn't be fooled.
well, no, we wouldn't have been fooled. You would have been telling me for months.
The conditions inside the reformatory eventually led to the prison being shut down permanently in 1990. During its time as a working prison, these walls played home to 154,000 inmates, some of whom never walked out. Whether it was violence or disease, at least 215 perished during their time at the reformatory, and at least one guard was killed by inmates.
So this
Only
is
one?
the east cell block. This is the bigger of the two blocks inside this whole joint.
I mean, this is like classic prison, I
Yes,
guess.
it is.
Classic
Go past this. What are you doing?
I mean,
You're going past the chain.
well, we're gonna investigate it.
Oh, all right.
Good lord. This is the largest standing steel cell block in the world.
In the world.
Really something. That's a lot of metal.
It is a lot of metal.
A lot of men. I'm hearing a lot of little noises.
Yeah, I am too.
What do you suppose those are?
Rats.
I don't know. I could certainly see how one would lose their mind in a situation like this.
Yeah, this looks pleasant.
Fuck this so hard, dude. This is fucking terrible.
It's the opportunity of a lifetime to be here. We are high up.
We are in
I don't know
the
if you
top
can
of the
see
world.
right now, but no, you can't see.
Well, I have the thermal up. We're gonna get some motion lights up here. We're gonna have a real party up here on this 6th floor.
Yep.
Let's party, baby.
There he goes.
Hello?
There he goes. All by himself.
I'm separating from the group.
It's the ideal time to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, if I were gonna die in camera, it would be a pretty noble thing. Future ghost hunters would be like, this is the spot where Ryan Bergara got murked. Oh my god, this keeps stretching.
I don't understand what's wrong with Ryan sometimes.
What was that?
I didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything.
You
no.
sure you didn't say anything, Shane?
Now go back and set them off to make sure they work.
I got a better idea. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Okay.
And I won't do that.
All right.
So if there's anything on this 6th tier, on the south side, just walk towards our voice.
If you turn on those lights, you'll go to heaven.
Okay, see, now that's taking it too far.
Don't make promises you can't keep, bro.
While some deaths were the result of violence from other inmates, other deaths were self-inflicted. It's said that one inmate named James Lockhart covered himself in turpentine stolen from the prison furniture shop and set himself on fire in his cell.
He was through with
James's
it.
spirit is considered one of the more violent within the prison.
16, 15, 14, 13. All right. Coming in, James. Okay. Oh, fuck.
It's tight. It's a tight squeeze. We can barely move around in here right now, just the two of us.
This is insane. Could
Yeah,
you
this is
imagine
very tight. This is-
living in
that's a
here
lot.
with 4?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
James,
that's
I
just
get it.
super
I would say
inhumane.
that up front.
Like,
If I had to
how
be trapped
could you?
here, even if it was only for 15 years. Too much.
Only
when
for
he was
15 years.
22
Okay.
when
All
he
right.
set himself on
Only,
fire.
only for 15
He had
years.
been in here since he was 7?
What?
He was trapped in here for 15 years?
No, his sentence was 15 years.
I see.
It said that other people walked by, like the guards, walking in over here, seeing a man trapped in here on fire.
I mean, it was probably gruesome.
Yeah.
Probably was.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna turn something on that may help you talk to us. And it's...
Even to James, you're gonna do this.
I'm gonna do this to James.
Sorry, James.
Alright, James, I don't think I properly introduced myself before. I'm Ryan, that's Shane. Could you say any of our names back to us?
Thermopylae?
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Monopoly?
James, are you in here? It's classical music, huh? What?
Say that again.
This is your last chance. Use this energy that this is giving off to say something. Turn it off. Well, James, we're gonna leave your cell here, but before we leave, once again, sorry what happened to you. Pretty awful.
May you know peace.
Another less graphic death that occurred in the prison happened in the warden's living quarters. On November 5th, 1950, Helen Gladke, the wife of the reformatory superintendent, was attempting to grab a jewelry box from a shelf in her closet when she accidentally knocked down a handgun. The handgun hit the floor and discharged, shooting Helen in the chest, resulting
husband
in
did it.
Helen's death a couple days later. Visitors to the living quarters report smelling her prominent rose-scented perfume and catching glimpses of her walking into her pink bathroom.
Alright, so this is the second floor. It's up here where Helen's living quarters were, as well as her 2 sons.
Seems like a fun place to grow up if you're a child.
You have a very different definition of fun. We hear you have a very lovely rose-scented perfume. We'd love to smell it, so
We'd
you
love
could,
to smell it.
Why don't we close our eyes and smell?
Okay.
You know, heighten our sense of smell and see if we could smell any kind of perfume.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can maybe back up from here. I could feel your air intake. It's like a gross nasal jet. I don't know. It smells like old wood.
Yeah, I was gonna say old wood rotting plaster.
Well, Helen, if you aren't here, or if you are here, we sure can't smell you, which is a weird sentence to say.
We can't smell you, Helen. Or if you're a little busy right now, we can always smell you later. Smell you later.
Oh, you back? We're gonna do an investigation.
One room that is particularly active and mysterious in nature is a room on the 3rd floor of the administration building, referred to as the chair room. The room, which is one of the only rooms in the reformatory without windows, has a single chair sitting in the center of it. Paranormal investigators claim that when the chair is moved from the center of the room, the chair will return to the center of the room on its own. One investigator even claimed to be pushed and scratched by the entity in this room.
And as the name would suggest, I present to you the chair.
This chair looks fucking stupid in the middle of the room.
I actually think it looks rather nice. I like what you've done with the place. It really sets the room right.
Well, we disagree, and I'm the guy who's gonna move it.
Hey, don't move the fucking chair. Come on, man. Hey! I tried to stop him. Seriously, that's just rude. You're gonna come into his room, or its room, whatever's in this room. I'm sorry. We're from California. Don't let this be representative of all Californians.
We're the Hollywood elite. I don't think you're strong enough to move it back. Whoever you are. Are you even human? Are you maybe a demon? Whoever's here, move that chair back. That's not the center of the room at all. Move it back. I'll stand right over here. You can throw it right at me if you want. Move that chair. Move it.
He's gonna take your chair, he's gonna take it outside, he's gonna spread his butt cheeks, and he's gonna lay a fat turd right all over the center of it.
I didn't. Sure.
Commit,
yeah.
Shane. Commit.
Very vivid. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna take photos of it and put it on Instagram.
How about this? If whatever's in here moves this chair back to the center, we won't do anything to the chair, we'll leave it alone. Sound like a fair deal?
Yeah, sounds like a fair deal.
You see that? He said if you move it back, he won't mess with it. Look.
Tough season for the Bukaki.
No, wait a second. Wait.
Tough
You
one.
realize this happening would be incredible.
Yeah, it would be. It certainly would be unboring.
One thing that also happens in this room is people get scratched if they get a little too rambunctious.
Scratch me! That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the scratches. I keep forgetting.
No, I don't really think you're actually giving it wrong.
What do you want? Scratch me!
There we go. There he is.
Asshole!
He's back.
Go on! Scratch me up! Make me bleed!
Oh, the Shaniac is back, baby.
Scratch my heart!
Holy shit.
Scratch up my insides. Give me internal bleeding. Make me
wow.
shit blood. How about that?
Real committed now.
Latch yourself onto my soul, come back to Hollywood with me, and destroy the lives of all my friends and co-workers.
It's a little hard to follow, but I like where you're going.
Ryan's family has a little dog named Mickey. Real good. What, you wanted me to give it my all? I'm throwing stuff on the table.
Insults, not personal information. You're giving him a dossier on my life.
You know, this was supposed to be the season of respecting ghosts, and every time I've tried to do that, you yell at me to disrespect them.
I'm telling you to be true to who you are.
I mean, that is certainly valid.
Okay,
because I am living a lie otherwise.
Well,
Because
then be
we're
yourself.
talking to air.
You don't know who's listening, Shane.
The chapel is also an active area of the reformatory. There are rumors of the chapel being used as a place of executions prior to becoming a chapel, and ghosts are known to grab people who attempt to leave.
We're coming up.
This should be a good place, though, right?
It should be. Then again, you would also think that spirits that are hanging out in the chapel are kind of mocking things, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but Jesus, is Jesus here?
Is Jesus here?
At this moment, our audio recorder picks up a voice saying, "I am not."
Is Jesus here?
I have no idea.
Okay, Shane, relax.
Well, clearly he is.
I guess.
Is Jesus being sneaky?
Yeah, because he says I. He's answering. I'm not here. I'm not here. It's either that or it's the devil.
Excuse me.
I don't
Pardon
know.
me.
I just.
But then Jesus is the devil? Is that
Well,
your
I'm
stance?
saying it's the devil pretending to be Jesus. He's playing like a little game.
But then he would say, I am here. It's me, Jesus.
That's true. I guess that doesn't mean it. You know what it is? I just am nerved. I'm unnerved by something answering a question about Jesus. That's a ghost hanging out in a chapel for some reason, which seems like a weird place for someone to spend if they're trapped for eternity.
I don't know. I chalk it up to the usuals.
I think it's pretty clear.
Chalk it up to the usuals. That's going to just be a new go-to answer.
Okay, well, I think it's a pretty clear voice, and it answered your question in a little tricky way, but intelligently.
I am not.
Holy moly.
This is quite a room.
I mean, it is a chapel. I gotta say, for a prison chapel, I did not expect it to be this expansive. Oh, should we harmonize?
wasn't bad.
All right. My name's Ryan, that's Shane.
And we're here to make a connection with you. We want you to feel comfortable and safe when you reach out to us. So please know that we are very non-judgmental. We don't care about what crimes you've committed.
This is a place of worship and forgiveness.
And we respect you.
It must be lonely. If you don't want us to leave, you should say something now.
Place sucks.
You could go home with him. He'll break you out of this joint.
Hop on me. I'll give you a little piggyback ride all the way home to sunny Los Angeles.
Last chance.
Too inviting.
What's your
Shane.
name? Is that muffled conversation?
It's very peculiar.
Where's it coming from?
It could literally just be the way the wind is hitting the chapel.
Oh, I see it. There's a bird right there.
Oh, there's a bunch up there. Hey, bros.
Bros.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hey.
When it comes to guards with a penchant for doling out punishment,
They gotta go too, Ryan. They gotta go
the
too.
darkest, a place referred to as the Hole. The Hole was the name given to the solitary confinement cell block of the prison. This block was reserved for those being punished. Legend has it that in the late 1930s, as punishment for a riot, 120 prisoners were forced to shove themselves into the 12 solitary confinement cells for a week without food. This incident reportedly resulted in madness and some deaths.
No
Reportedly
shit.
horrifying happenings occurred in the Hole, including an inmate hanging himself, a guard being killed by inmates, an inmate lighting himself on fire, one instance where 2 inmates entered the Hole together and only one walked out, with the other being discovered dead, his body stuffed under the bunk. In other words, this is a rather horrible place, and as with most horrible places, we'll investigate it individually.
We're gonna do that thing where I go first and you go second, and that'll be fun for you because you get to build up the anticipation and get very scared.
Yeah, really good.
While I just walk around and probably won't take it very seriously.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. If there's anyone here, my name's Shane, and I'd like to talk to you. I have a microphone in my pocket, and if you put your lips real close to it and whisper something, my friend will have proved that ghosts are real.
How did it come to this? I really do wonder sometimes, how did I end up in this spot? Walking through solitary confinement by myself in the middle of the night in a haunted prison.
Give the best job ever, Ryan. Don't
I
complain.
don't think it is.
Please try to say something intelligent and coherent.
Get paid to
You know,
ghost
say,
hunt. Dream
"I don't like the
fucking
food here."
job.
Or, "This is a bad time for me." Or, "Can you please stop talking?" Something. I'm gonna give you the floor now. You know what? For the hell of it, I'm gonna turn out my light. It's gonna be pitch black here in a prison. Here we go.
Why we don't see no ghosts in the daytime?
You know, I didn't walk down West Cell Block.
Here's a nice thing. Well, somebody looks like they beat the shit out of this. Not sure what that is.
Excuse me.
Ooh, yoza. Now these appear to be the solitary rooms, I think, because they have those tiny little doors on them. I'm gonna jump into one of these, feel out the space. Ooh. Ooh. I'm going to be quiet now. If you're a ghost,
Are you, Shane?
reach out to me, communicate. I welcome your thoughts. I respect you. because that's what I'm doing this season, or at least attempting to do. Here I go. I'm going to be quiet now. Let her rip.
It's nice over here. I like it. If that's somebody up there, make that noise again in your cell. Haha. I fucking hate this place. I really do.
But it's got some charm. I'm not even kidding about that.
Time to face the music, huh? Let's send the Rye Guy to the hole.
Very scary, the things you said to me. I don't know if my friend Ryan is going to respond quite so well.
You do know I hate you, right?
It's pretty spooky. I sat in one of the solitary cells and just really, I tried to put myself in their shoes, and I think I learned a little bit.
Wow. I hate this part of the episode, you know. I mean...
Ghosts, here he comes!
Jesus Christ, that was loud.
Here comes your boy, Ryan Bergara.
Okay.
Well, good luck. Off you go.
Okay, well, as Mr. Shane said, my name is Ryan. I'm very scared right now. So know that if you're scared, I promise you I'm more scared.
You're always more scared, Ryan. You're always more scared.
Do know that if you show yourself, I have a camera. I will see you.
I have a camera.
And everybody will know you exist, and I win.
He seems to be handling them well this season. Proud of him.
Only took a couple seasons.
If there's anybody up here with me, I just got the chills. Oh shit.
He had to do it sometime. I don't know how he's gonna fare. He was a little rattled earlier in the night.
Well, I'm gonna sit on one of these, and they're disgusting. Okay. Sitting in a solitary cell by myself.
Why does it sound like freaking Squidward?
Good shit, right? Okay, let's fire up the spirit box. Alright. My name's Ryan. Can you say Ryan back? You say Ryan? No escape, huh? What's the name of the jail we're at right now? Psycho. Who is in this cell? Whose cell am I in? Can you say my name? My name is Ryan Bergara. What did you do? Why are you here? Good. Obviously you weren't good.
Crank March saw that.
What?
What does it say?
It sounds to me like it's saying we first board at dusk.
We first board at dusk.
Yeah, listen to it again.
So we were speaking to the ghouls, and we said, please tell us an important message. And he got up to the mic and said, we first board at dusk.
It could be a metaphor. I don't know.
Why would ghosts be speaking in metaphors?
I don't know. Why would ghosts speak?
Oh. Checkmate.
Alright, I'm gonna turn this off for the last part here. It is alarmingly silent now in here. What was that? Who was that? Reveal yourself. Could you make a noise? Could you bang on one of your cells? I'll come to you. Fuck. Right. Who is that? Do you hear the little whispers? please.
Oops.
If you want to talk, God, I have all the hair standing up on my body.
Time's up.
Thank fucking God. Too late. Won't get to know. Sayonara, motherfucker. The right guy is out.
What are you gonna say to them?
Nah, take a good look at this face. You ain't never gonna see it again. You had your chance. See that little dance? That's the last thing you're ever gonna see. Adios. Oh, fuck, I forgot the spirit box. Shit.
Oh, go get it.
I have my hands full.
You spoke too soon. Try your best.
I'm back. Isn't that funny how that happens? Fuck, where did I leave this shit? Oh, boy, what have you done, Ryan? What have you done? I found you, motherfucker! Oh, God, this is the best part when I just feel so much joy and happiness, and I remember all that's good in the world.
This is you at your most loathsome.
Yeah.
After spending a night roaming the unsettling cell blocks of Ohio State Reformatory, I can see why many feel the prison is haunted. Even without the history, the visuals presented are enough to make the imagination run wild. But whether or not Ohio State Reformatory is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
So right now we're gonna go retrieve the static cam from the chair room, and if this chair is not where I left it, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
What if the chairs are stacked like in Poltergeist?
That would be equally insane.
Oh, this is so weird. They're in the same spot.
In the same spot, how about that?
Very
How about that?
Very good.
Something about this seems a little fishy. That ghost is supposed to move that.
He was. And I can't say I'm not disappointed, because I am.
Because I am.
With whatever's in this room.
Tough season for the Bugaris.
It's a big ask, once again.
Tough season.
I'm gonna take a short break before we move on to the next one. So, enjoy some music, and I shall return.
On this special bonus episode of 7 Saturdays to a More Fire-Resistant Home, we will be showing you how to develop and execute a ready, set, go game plan so that you are ready, set, and able to go when an emergency happens.
Say she need me, as soon as I'm leaving, I just can't believe it, if I never seen it, cause seeing is believing, and I see shorty tweaking, and they can see it's peeking, cause I be working frequently. Sorry nigga, ain't no beating me, niggas tripping like it's LSD, got them clicking like it's LMB, in my city they all know me, finna blow with all my G's, if you see me, better respect my G's, chop a blow, finna hit your knee, cash cow, house racks on me.
Yeah, throw that back for me, get that cash for me, throw it on, now break it down and do that dash for me, get the Rari, drive it fast and can you crash for me, but yeah we crash dummies, cause they some crash dummies, throw that bag for me, get that cash for me, throw it on, now break it down and do that dash for me, get the Rari, drive it fast and can you crash for me, and yeah we crash dummies, cause they some crash dummies.
Out of this world I'm an alien, looking around, don't think nobody's saving them, why they still hating them, why they still playing them, you was just worshiping, you trying to pray to him, I get the ice thinking I'm about to hell in them, we get the choppers and they finna rain on them, we got katanas and they start slaying them, I ain't even jacking them, I ain't even claiming them, nobody came with them.
Hopping in the car, what you wanna do? Yeah, we put a serving in the belly coop, so yeah, salute the troops, yeah. We just came through with them tests, we tryna shoot, yeah. Throw that back for me, get that cash for me, throw it on, now break it down and do that dash for me, get the Rari, drive it fast and can you crash for me, but yeah we crash dummies, cause they some crash dummies, throw that bag for me, get that cash for me, throw it on, now break it down and do that dash for me, get the Rari, drive it fast and can you crash for me, and yeah we crash dummies, cause they some crash dummies.
Most of these niggas, they fill up with hate, cause the niggas been great when I'm showing them passion. Niggas is late and I'm guessing it's fake, cause homie, these niggas been living in past and show them reaction. When they want static, I'ma just blast them like it's my fashion.
In my Rari coupe, no life like bitch, who is you? G-Face is my shoes, bitch, my dick could be a view. Niggas cannot clone, they just don't know what to do. Boy, you got no clue, fuck you, bitch, when you in school.
Flooded with this ice, yeah, this shit could fill your pool. She want me to hit, told her that she not a Jew. She like, why you dip? I cannot make no excuse. Baby, please don't trip, I just do not fuck with you. Me and Chopper making hits, switching out inside the booth.
Throw that back for me, get that cash for me, down and do that dash for me. Get the Rari, drive it fast and can you crash for me? But yeah, we crash dummies, cause they some crash dummies. Throw that bag for me, get that cash for me. Go ahead and now break it down and do that dash for me. Get the Rari, drive it fast and can you crash for me? And yeah, we crash dummies, cause they some crash dummies.
What more do you want from him? He's only 17. Long Island, I'm telling you, pay attention. DJ Drewski, Tony Marino. I'm only gonna ask one more time.
Where was your love when I started with this shit? Where was your love when I was stuck at the bottom of the list? Stuck at the bottom. Where was your love when I needed it most? When I needed it most. Where was your love when I needed you close? When I needed you close. I didn't see that shit. Where was the love when I started? When I put in hours of grinding and sweating and bleeding. Now that you can see the way that I'm flexing and dressing on the man that you wanna be with. I can't believe it, don't wanna see it. You gotta pack all your shit up and beat it. Where was the love? Where was the love? It's crazy that I caught you stabbing my back. Now you playing innocent, trying to tell me who the victim is. Dimming the lights of my visions and always all up in my business. I needed you then, but I don't need you now, so you could go leave me alone. You not the same in reality as a person that I see on the phone. I was grinding and waiting while bitches was hating. Nobody right with me when I was basic, but I made the best out of the worst situation, yeah. Bow. How you claim you day one, you ain't even say nothing when I was struggling, huh? When I was suffering, huh? Maybe when I wasn't high, you felt like I wasn't enough. Oh no, 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 no. Yeah. Bow. What was your love when I started with this shit? What was the love? What was your love when I was stuck at the bottom of the list? Stuck at the bottom. Where was your love when I needed it most? When I needed it most. Where was your love when I needed you close? When I needed you close. I didn't see that shit. Where was the love when I started? When I put in hours of grinding and sweating and bleeding. Now that you can see the way that I'm flexing and dressing on the man that you wanna be with. I can't believe it, don't wanna see it. You gotta pack all your shit up and beat it up. Where was the love? Where was the love? All of you bitches abandoned me. You was embarrassed to stay with me. But now that I'm on, you gon' act like you a fan of me. Hope you keep the same energy. Nobody taking advantage of me. It's sad, cause back when I gave you my trust and my loyalty, you just took it all for granted on me. Yeah. What was your love when I started with this shit? What was the love? What was your love when I was stuck at the bottom of the list? Stuck at the bottom. Where was your love when I needed it most? When I needed it most. Where was your love when I needed you close? When I needed you close. I never seen that shit. Where was the love when I started? When I put in hours of grinding and sweating and bleeding. Now that you can see the way that I'm flexing and dressing on the man that you wanna be with. I can't believe it, don't wanna see it. You gotta pack all your shit up and beat it. Where was the love? Yeah. Where was the love? Where was the love? Seeing produced it. It's kinda like, just want it to be over.
You can't take back what you said. I hope it's stuck in your head. I hope it hurts that I left. You know you can't replace me. I keep your text left unread. Tell me who's really obsessed. I'd say I wish you the best, but I hope it drives you crazy. No shawty and she calling up a best friend. Going crazy at a party in the West End. You see the pics, you like, damn it, should I text him? But D&D, shawty, sorry, that's a dead end. You know you really had a chance, say you messed up. Down bad, cause you seeing that I'm next up. More clear for the body, I'ma flex up. Move through it, little baby, I don't stress ya. Down, say I'm back on road. Big checks on deck, got you mad, I know. Said you find somebody better, yeah, yeah, I hope. And I would say I miss you, but I know I don't. Way too over you, baby. No, I won't let you play me. I ignore what you're saying. Heart is full of regret. You can't take back what you said. I hope it's stuck in your head. I hope it hurts that I left. You know you can't replace me. I keep your text left unread. Tell me who's really obsessed. I'd say I wish you the best, but I hope it drives you crazy. 15 missed calls on my phone again. So much I could say, but I hold it in. I hope it hurts, no I won't pretend. pretend, but in the end I'll be okay. Either way, I'll be straight cause it's over. Ice cold every time I try to hold her, telling me I'm crazy and never giving closure. Blowing on my phone, I can tell you ain't sober. Thought I had a queen, but I really had a joker. I didn't wanna go, but my heart getting colder. And every now and then I think about when I would hold her. Now it's all over, I wish I didn't know her. But you can't take back what you said. I hope it's stuck in your head. I hope it hurts that I left. You know you can't replace me. I keep your text left unread. Tell me who's really obsessed. I'd say I wish you the best, but I hope it drives you crazy.
Guys, holy cow.
Tuesday on Kevin Hart's Wild Game Show, Celebrity Game Face.
Things are about to get weird.
Big Boy. Sashir Zameda.
I feel foolish.
And DJ Khaled.
I'm gonna go crazy with it.
Are bringing superstar energy.
My greatness jiggles a lot.
E! Celebrity Game Face. Tuesday at 9, only on E!
This is not a fairy tale. Lord knows that we've been through shit. Took a little growing up for me to think about it like this. I know that I'm wrong sometimes. I know that I made mistakes. Went and wrote a bunch of songs about you, but maybe it was me who changed. I let myself down, I ain't proud of that. Lost my way for a while now. Now I'm coming back, and you know what I know. We better this way. Through all the hard times, know we'll be okay. And this emotion in all that I do. Light in the dark times, you helping me through. With every day that I spend with you, can honestly say that I'm better with you. I'm better with you, you. I'm better with you, you. With all that I do. I'm better with you, you. This is not a fairy tale. Lord knows that we've been through shit. Have a lot of regrets, but there's still a lot of things I'm.
Okay, back at it. Had to take my lashes off and put my glasses on because my eyes are starting to hurt. You know, the screen, the coloring, it's taking its toll. Okay, so let's see what we got next. Better be a good one. Are we allowed to smoke on stream? I don't know the official rules.
Tonight, something strange happened in the skies over Arizona that still hasn't been fully explained. An event now known as the Phoenix Lights.
It was extraordinary.
No one knows for sure what happened that night in the skies over Arizona in March, but thousands of people saw.
Hey man,
This week on BuzzFeed,
aliens a lot more likely than ghosts.
A possible UFO sighting in Phoenix, Arizona. This case is regarded by many to be one of the bigger UFO cases of all time, mainly because of the amount of witnesses. You already look like you're stoked.
I love it.
I love it.
Where's
my triangle?
This person saw a lady get abducted by minions, but
got it.
Nobody had a camera.
Well, not today, friend. Not today, because
not today.
Spoiler alert. Just take a little peek in this. It's hot.
You didn't even look.
Ooh,
there you go.
There's so much heat in here.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
On March 13th, 1997, around 7 p.m., a string of about 5 lights in a V formation appeared in the sky above Phoenix, Arizona. The National UFO Reporting Center reported that the first call regarding the lights came in at 8:16 p.m. from a retired police officer in Paulden, Arizona, which is about 2 hours north of Phoenix. The retired police officer reported he saw, quote, a cluster of red-orange lights arranged in a V formation, end quote. The National UFO Reporting Center reportedly began to get a flood of calls from south of Paulden, suggesting the lights were moving in a southeastern direction. Allegedly, there were over 700 witnesses, including pilots, police officers, and military officials that were lighting up the National UFO Reporting Center's switchboards, looking for an explanation. Some described the lights as orbs, others said triangles. A large amount of witnesses described the lights as part of a singular massive craft, a craft that made no noise.
So some people saw a craft. I got an air bubble in my throat right now. You hear that? You ever get that? This is scary. I don't sound like myself.
Oh, you sound...
I sound like an alien.
You sound alien.
I'm like a pod person. Okay. Yeah, you know, that's that thing. You look in the darkness long enough, you're gonna see something.
Yeah, 700 people are going to all hallucinate at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, some of them did, some of them didn't. I mean, it's not hallucinating. I'm saying some of the people looked up and said,
Misidentified.
"Oh, I see something. I see something staring at the darkness. Are those all connected? Well, what's my mind doing?"
Here's a crazy
March.
thought. No, this may be, I may be going off the deep end here, but if 700 people say they saw something,
maybe they saw something.
No doubt they saw something. But what is that thing? That's the question.
One man named Terry Proctor captured one of the only videos of this event. The grainy, low-quality video, which we can't show you due to copyright, seemingly displays 5 lights in a V-like pattern in the sky. Around 10 p.m., a second set of as many as 9 lights appeared in the sky, seemingly hovering in the same spot. Whether these lights are related to, or are in fact the same lights from the 7 p.m. sighting, is unclear. However, it's this set of lights that comprises most of eyewitness testimony, as it was later in the night after the buzz of the first sighting had people on alert.
It seems not the usual MO for aliens, right? To sort of do a little appetizer.
This is a weird case because there's a possibility that one was legit and one actually was something normal but was misidentified. So it confuses things.
Curious.
Or they were the same thing.
Curious.
I think either is just as likely. I think it's possible that aliens knew they were going to be seen or didn't know they were going to be seen. One of them fucked up, was asleep at the wheel, forgot to turn on the cloaking device or some crazy shit like that.
It's just a button.
And now he's fired and he's looking for work. His wife divorced him. His little kids don't have income to live off of. It's a really bad situation.
It's a really bad situation.
Aliens have money.
A laser printer technician named Dana Valentine witnessed the craft from his yard in Phoenix. Quote, "We could see the outline of a mass behind the lights, but you couldn't actually see the mass. It was more like a gray distortion of the night sky, wavy. I don't know exactly what it was, but I know it's not a technology the public has heard of before." End quote. Tim Lee, a management consultant, described the event saying, quote, "It was astonishing and a little frightening. It was so big and so strange. You couldn't actually see the object. All you could see was the outline, as though something was blotting out the stars. The lights looked like gas. There was a distortion on the surface. Also, the light didn't spill out or shine. I've never seen a light like that." End quote. According to a USA Today article from the time, air traffic controllers could not see the lights on radar, despite seeing them with their own eyes in the sky.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
If they were planes, you would see them on the radar.
Yeah.
So it's not a plane.
Unless it was stealth.
We'll get into that later.
Based off of reports, it appears that the mysterious spacecraft was enormous, made no sound, moved slowly, and on occasion would hover over an area. Phoenix physician Dr. Lynn Katay was a witness of these lights and states, quote, "It was a mile-wide formation of these orbs, and I caught them head-on turning into a V." End quote. Witness Sue Watson described the craft as, quote, "A shopping mall flying over my home. It had these lights in front, and then it was totally illuminated underneath, like a yellowish amber. It was a totally rounded boomerang shape." End quote. Videos of this second event show the string of 9 lights hovering in the sky. The lights illuminate off and on, randomly, over the course of a couple minutes, while floating in what could be described as a loose V-like formation. Other videos captured the events of March 13th.
What if this was that,
1997,
you know,
and according to a USA Today
is it Telelink or what is that thing that Musk,
puts the object
the internet,
6,000
Wi-Fi,
feet long,
whatever that thing's called.
or more than a mile. End quote.
With these things, I tend to put it first on spooky military activity, more so than extraterrestrials. It just seems like a big gamble for extraterrestrials to just, I mean, if they're coming down at night in the first place, clearly, and they're trying to cloak themselves, well, great. Maybe hang outside, a few miles outside of town.
Put your hands in the air. Back with my bestie. It's gonna be the best day ever.
I mean, really, it's not that much of a gamble. What's the gamble? They're clearly more advanced than us. What's going to happen? Okay, we see them. We did see them. We're not going to attack them.
So
They don't know that. Well, maybe they do know that. Who knows how long they've been watching us?
Well, maybe they saw us and they were like, not interested. Swipe right or left or whatever the fuck Twitter is. Well, not Twitter, Tinder. Which sound like an 80-year-old
Tinder.
man.
Dude, right. Right.
Twitter.
I think maybe they came to check out resources. They didn't like what they saw, so they just left.
While there are people who say the lights were part of one giant craft, there are others who believe the lights themselves were the crafts. A truck driver named Bill Griner's recollection of the event seems to suggest the latter. Griner said that his truck route took him within a mile of Luke Air Force Base. He states that he witnessed 2 orbs, one of which was floating over the Air Force Base. At that moment, 3 F-16s took off, after which the orb pursued one, but then shot up into the sky and disappeared. Quote, before this, if anybody had told me they saw a UFO, I would have said, yeah, and I believe in the Tooth Fairy. Now I've got a whole new view. I may be just a dumb truck driver, but I've seen something that don't belong here. I wish the government would just admit it. You know what it's
And
like
they
in
did.
this city right now? It's like having 50,000 people in a
As
stadium
much as the
watching
government ever
football,
admits anything,
and
I
then having
guess.
someone tell us we weren't there. End quote.
Love this guy.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, he realizes that the first thing a skeptic is going to say is, oh, it's a fucking truck driver. So
Yeah.
check that box.
Yeah. I was gonna say, oh, that's a fucking truck driver. He got
Right.
me dead to rights.
And then he gave a solid analogy of people watching a sporting event and then having people go, hey, you didn't watch that.
And he also gave the I was a skeptic until I saw this defense, which is great.
It was a
oh
three-
yeah, and I believe in the Tooth Fairy. Go fuck yourself.
It was a 3-pronged attack.
That's pretty good.
This guy is, he's
It's
a
pretty
savant
good.
when it comes to rhetoric.
Yeah.
On May 6th, during a council meeting, City Councilwoman Frances Barwood asked City Manager Frank Fairbanks if there was going to be an investigation. Quote, I asked if anybody knew what this object was, and could we check into it. I was met by a whole bunch of stares. End quote. She claims that following the meeting, a city manager approached her and said, quote, you shouldn't have asked that question. End quote. Then, the Arizona Republic published a cartoon of City Councilwoman Barwood with a light switch on her forehead and a button on her jacket saying, quote, I love UFOs, end quote. Barwood continues, the mayor's office put signs on my picture in the hallway, and I found out afterwards they handed out business cards with my name on it that said, speaking to the tinfoil, I will hear you. End
It's kind of
quote.
fucked up.
Despite
like,
being
damn.
ridiculed, Barwood began receiving phone calls from other witnesses, all describing the same thing. Nonetheless, for a while, the case went unacknowledged until a USA Today article released 3 months later on June 18, 1997, described the event, effectively bringing the story into the national spotlight. From the article, quote, on March 13th, hundreds of people reported an enormous object or objects in the night sky. It's the most confounding UFO report in 50 years. So far,
I hate how
there is no
politics is super
explanation
high school.
that
Like,
the government is not investigating.
it's crazy to me.
Local
People
and federal agencies
run a fucking
disagree
country.
over who should purse the report. End quote.
Yeah, I guess it didn't. So there's been almost no coverage of it up
No.
until here.
And this is 3 months after the sighting.
Because this is before YouTube or
Yeah, no one's on Twitter going, holy shit.
yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, for example, remember, what was it, like a couple months ago when the SpaceX launch happened?
Yeah.
And it looked like the sky was breaking?
Mhm.
If that happened in 1997 and we didn't have Twitter,
Everyone would think it was an
everyone
alien.
would think it's an alien. They would lose their mind.
Yeah.
Of course, the government was, to their credit, able to give an explanation. They even
But
announced
they
that it was
were.
going to happen. They said this shit's good. You know, it wasn't a covert operation. So in that case, I don't know if it's too similar,
Mhm.
but the internet is a tool of knowledge, I suppose.
In some ways.
Yeah. Or it could be a means of destruction. The end of us.
Yeah. We're just hanging there, everybody.
With the country hungry for answers, then Governor Five Symington held a press conference where he claimed he knew who was responsible and brought out the accused.
And now I'll ask Officer Stein and his colleagues to escort the accused into the room so that we may all look upon the guilty party. Don't get him too close to me, please.
And it's here that this story gets interesting, because despite making a joke of the event, Governor Symington would later publicly admit that he too had seen the craft. Quote, I saw a huge craft come right over Squaw Peak. It was just breathtaking. As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object that I'd ever seen. It was certainly not high-altitude flares, because I've never seen flares fly in formation. Unquestionably, it was a UFO. End quote. Another interesting fact from Governor Symington was the fact that his office did inquire about the object, but they never received an answer. And if a governor can't receive an explanation from the powers that be, what could they be hiding?
There's probably a lot of things they don't tell governors.
Right.
Sure, but not when the governor in question has a state full of people that are pressing him for answers. You would think that they would be like, hey, I know a lot of people are on you right now. You're under a lot of heat. This is what you do. This is what you do. But instead, they ostracize him. They keep him on the outside to think, oh, I wonder what he's going to do. Maybe he'll run his mouth.
I would be more concerned if he did know something.
I'm just saying that if they had talked to him, he wouldn't have said anything ever, I think. Because he would have had the fear.
But then he's still like a loose cannon.
Not necessarily.
They can't know for sure that if they tell him something, he could go nuts. They don't know.
Yeah, you can, because it's your job. I'm just saying, by keeping someone in the dark, you're giving them the liberty to say whatever they really want.
With no basis for it, though.
I mean,
so if anyone hears it, they're not going to...
It has a little bit of basis. He's a governor saying something, so that already inherently has a little bit of basis.
But he doesn't know more than anyone else in town.
I know.
Is the thing.
But it just makes it look more suspicious.
I don't think it does.
I think it does.
Well, agree to disagree here.
With that, let's get into the theories, of which there are only two. The first theory is the official explanation from the Air Force that the lights witnessed in the sky were merely flares dropped in a training exercise from high altitude that night.
Very
the military
unlikely.
states that the flares were dropped over the Barry M. Goldwater Range near Gila Bend, Arizona. Though, it's worth noting that Tucson's Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, the base that allegedly carried out the training exercise, originally stated that it had no planes in the air at the time. Former F-16 pilot Ty Groh believes that the lights may well have been military flares. He says that flares go where the wind takes them. A breeze may have been able to carry all of them at an equal distance.
Yeah,
In June of that year, a local news anchor taped another flare drop by the military, and skeptics suggest it bared a striking resemblance to the Phoenix Lights. One important detail is what time the military reportedly dropped flares on the night of the Phoenix Lights. The flare drop apparently occurred around 10 p.m., aka the same time sightings of the second set of lights were reported. But while that possibly explains
Maybe they tried
those
to
lights,
cover up the
that still
first
offers
lights.
no explanation for the
So they
first set of lights that
set
were
off the
seen
flares
nearly
and
3
been like, "Oh, yeah,
hours earlier.
it was just flares
One
both
man
times, don't
named
worry."
Mitch Stanley claims that during the time of the first sighting, he happened to be using a high-powered telescope capable of seeing 1,500 times more light than the human eye. When he looked at the first set of lights, he claims they were planes. While compelling, this story seems odd when you consider the fact that no planes were reported in the air during the time of the first sighting. And since it wasn't just one light, but rather 5 lights, it seems odd that there would be 5 unaccounted for planes flying in tight formation.
My gut tells me it's just some shady military activity. Could have been
I
planes,
agree.
could have been stealths. You know, who knows?
They've only given one
Why would they say
explanation
anything
for the,
to you about it, too,
for the
you know?
second set of lights, and even that explanation to me is
It's like none of your business, according to them.
I think it's a shit
This one's shit.
I just think that the flares, even if you do buy the flares, sure, the first set of lights still unexplained, except for one dude with a telescope who's competing against 700 witnesses. And why the fuck is this guy with a telescope? He just happens to be using a telescope at the exact time of one of like the craziest events of all time.
You gotta be honest, telescope people are weird.
Yeah, I know. Because
I
he's
don't
actually
want to be one of those.
he's a favorite among skeptics. They're like, see, this guy's using a high-powered telescope with his mama, which he was. He was using the back.
No, I don't doubt that he was, that him and his mama were out with their telescope. I'm just saying telescope people, I mean, how much are they spending on these telescopes? They're going to be out there every single night with like a margarita and they're like, well, let's see what I find. Oh,
I fucking
empty
would,
sky
bro,
again.
looking at the
Whoa,
skies.
Wow, what a night. Well, that's been 8 hours.
Oh,
Guess
damn.
I'll go to sleep because the sun's coming up. They're basically vampires.
Then he says to his mom, good scoping. She goes,
Yeah.
good scoping, son. And then they go back
When are
to
you going
bed.
to move out?
Which brings us to our next theory,
Well,
that the lights were not flares, but actual UFOs, and perhaps proof of extraterrestrial life. On the 3rd year anniversary of the lights, another flare demonstration was performed to attempt to mimic the lights, this time by the National Guard. But people remained unconvinced that this was what they witnessed 3 years earlier. The flares, quote, flickered and moved erratically, end quote, and not in the bizarre grouped fashion of the Phoenix Lights. Jim Delatosa, a special effects expert, analyzed videos of the lights and said, quote, I have no idea what they were, end quote. Him and his team detail the orbs as, quote, a perfectly uniform light with no variation from one edge to the other and no glow. They have ruled out lasers, flares, holograms, and aircraft lights as sources, end quote. To gain further insight on this case, we sat down with Ancient Aliens expert.
Oh, dude, not this guy. He always reminds me of the Mayhem guy.
Giorgio A. Tsoukalos. What do you think the plausibility of this event actually happening is?
Well, we know it happened. So,
Well, we do know it happened, Ryan. I agree. We don't know what it was.
what it was, yes, correct. And what I think is fascinating is that something similar happened 7 years earlier in Belgium, which was also seen by thousands upon thousands of people. Same triangular formation, and then also the individual lights. So I think it's fascinating.
Have you seen anything that could maybe be an early version of what we saw in the
Fascinating
Phoenix Lights?
doesn't mean
What's
aliens.
interesting is that Alexander the Great, and also in some accounts of ancient Constantinople, there are references of giant flying shields. Giant shields that are glowing in the sky and just crossed, over the lands. So when you have these accounts of ancient flying shields up in the sky that are witnessed by armies, you have to wonder, well, were they all drunk? were they all smoking? Or did they actually see something?
Even if the lights were misidentified flares or planes, this still doesn't explain numerous witnesses describing a massive craft that the lights were attached to. Piggybacking off that, on March 14th, 1997, the morning after the Phoenix Lights, an airman from Luke Air Force Base detailed a disturbing story from the day prior. He claimed that the base got a call from Prescott Valley Airport, quote, reporting an object that had a near miss with a small Cessna, end quote. He claimed this call came at, quote, approximately 8:32 p.m., that they encountered something over Phoenix, Arizona, end quote. As a result, the airman claims that Luke Air Force Base sent 2 F-15s to investigate. Upon their return to base, here's how the airman described the pilot of one of the F-15s. Quote, the command pilot of this particular flight, I've never seen this man scared, and he was scared to death. He's not sure what it was. His statement was that they followed this aircraft. It went on a straight line course. He saw 5 distinct lights in a triangular pattern. How often would this happen where the military has stealth planes out that they don't tell Air Force bases about?
It's possible.
That seems wildly counterproductive to me. You don't want to be sending out a bunch of planes to investigate things when you could easily be like, oh yeah, that's one of ours.
Yeah, I just feel like the military, it's hard to pin down.
Right.
Hard to pin down.
They're super
what they might
truthful
do.
with us.
I think I just made a good point.
I mean, certainly a good point for you.
After this revelation, the airman claimed the Air Force Base, quote, had a complete lockdown. All hell broke loose basically, and the facility was closed, end quote. Noteworthy
Could have been
is
somebody
that this
else's
encounter
military.
occurred around 8:30 p.m. at the time of the first sighting, about an hour and a half before the military
aliens
planes
just
dropped flares.
come
In
over here
response,
and they're like,
the
ooh,
Air Force has denied this encounter.
bad Yelp
ever took
review for
place.
Earth.
Classic.
I love that, yeah.
Classic.
Earth
Do you think
went
they
under
just
the
have a
birth
dartboard
wheel.
that they throw whether or not they're gonna deny?
Just spin a wheel.
Which we tell them this time.
Yeah.
I think it would be a fun job to be the person who makes up fake stories that the military leaks.
Doctor.
Oh, a spin
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then he spins his wheel
Oh, he spins
that
the
has
wheel, it's all
topics
very
on it, and it has
literal.
topics on it.
We're going with flares, unfortunately.
And everyone in like the office who had flares in their pools like, yeah!
And they choke Alf a little bit more.
It makes sense that the Air Force would deny this story, since denying interest in UFOs is something that the government has already done. In December 2017, it was found that the nation's Defense Department had used $22 million of their annual $600 billion budget for an advanced aerospace threat identification program. Defense Department officials admitted that for years, the program had been investigating unidentified flying objects. Here's a quote from a New York Times article on a 60-minute documentary on this topic, detailing documents provided in the documentary. Quote, documents that describe sightings of aircraft that seem to move at very high velocities with no visible signs of propulsion, or that hovered with no apparent means of lift. End quote.
Why do you think the government approaches the topic of UFOs with such trepidation? Why do you think they're so against it?
That's a great question because, as we now know, ever since the 50s and the 60s, you know, open-minded people like the three of us and our great audience, we've always been laughed at and, oh, you know, those are the kooks, those are the crazies.
Yeah.
And then there's reports coming out, well, we've been studying this, you know, files and files with hundreds of thousands of documents worldwide, not just by the US government, but by governments from Brazil, England, all over the place, that ultimately this stuff has been investigated. And the fact that the Pentagon in December of 2017 released a statement saying, hey, we're investigating UFOs, that to me indicates that we've passed, or we are experiencing a paradigm shift, which is great.
In the end, neither skeptics nor believers can concretely prove what happened that night. Despite hundreds of witnesses across an entire state, the world seems content to leave what transpired that night as a mystery. Perhaps one day we'll have an answer, but for now, the case remains unsolved.
Okay. Unsolved.
I wanna take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just wanna go out.
This building has had many different hats throughout history.
All right, well, let's try them on.
I'll say this, the exterior looks quite nice.
Yeah, it does. They've really done quite well for themselves.
Let's see why this place has the reputation it does. This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate Moon River Brewing Company in Savannah, Georgia, as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? This building has plenty of rich and perhaps violent history.
Rich and violent. That's a package right there.
Yeah, it's all been leading up to this moment for when the boys come in. A mustachioed Shane and Ryan.
Feels good here in Savannah.
Sorry to everyone who has to look at that this episode. Just know I don't like it either.
It's a mustache town, Savannah.
All right, well, let's get into it. Moon River Brewing Company is said to be one of the most haunted institutions in Savannah. One of the bar's owners, Gene Biko, said, quote, I have seen and experienced things that I don't understand and I can't explain, end quote. Though, the brewing company's other owner and brewmaster, John Pinkerton, has said, quote, I personally cannot claim any experiences that I call paranormal. What I often point out is that the scariest things on this planet are living people. I don't worry about the spirits of dead people. I worry about living people, and in particular, drunk living people, end quote. Regardless of which owner is right, there is plenty of history in this building that could contribute to a haunting.
So Pinkerton, he thinks this is all baloney.
Yeah, and then the other guy, he's like me. If we opened a bar, I'd be like, I saw bottles moving off the shelf, and Daddy would be like, it's all baloney.
Yeah.
So
he's full of shit.
I love that he's scared of just drunk living people too.
Yeah.
He turned it into a commentary on how it sucks to own a bar.
He did, yeah, I did like that it came around to that. I thought he was going to say, I spend my time worrying about, you know, fraud and serial killers, but no, just his unruly patrons.
You get some of the devil's juice in someone,
You never
things
know.
happen.
Yeah, their darkness comes out.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
People are the
We don't
most
know anything about
frightening
that.
monsters.
Or maybe we do. Jesus Christ. Is this why you did the mustache? Did you do something last night?
Oh, you think this is a disguise?
This is like...
Surely no one will recognize me with my thick, full mustache.
The building in which the Moon River Brewing Company is housed was originally built as a hotel, known as the City Hotel. It is said to be the city's oldest surviving hotel/inn. Built by Eleazar and Jane Early, construction on the hotel began in 1819, opening eventually in 1821. The hotel was known as a luxury establishment, but violence was not uncommon among the hotel bar patrons, especially as it was often frequented by hot-headed politicians and businessmen. In 1832, one troubling incident of violence occurred with a belligerent lobby bar patron named James Stark. Stark was bad-mouthing the local doctor, Philip Minnies. The feud between the two had been said to be ongoing, and reports suggest Stark's verbal attack on Minnies included anti-Semitic barbs, as Minnies was Jewish. Stark also accused the doctor of being a coward, which reportedly set the doctor over the edge. Stark allegedly reached into his pocket, and Minnies reacted by drawing his gun and killing Stark first. Minnies was charged with, quote, justifiable homicide, end quote, as it was a, quote, affair of honor, end quote. Stark was reportedly seen as a town troublemaker, and some have posited that Minnies got off so easy because of Stark's unpopularity with the locals. Much of the ghost activity, including people being pushed inside the brewery, has since been attributed to Stark's vengeful ghost.
This is where we're gonna find Mr. James Stark.
The a-hole.
The a-hole. Correct. He was shot right around this area, right here.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a good place for a duel.
He was an anti-Semite, so like I said, this guy was kind of a dildo. I think we should reach out to him right about here.
Okay.
This is where we'll find him. All right. Well, Mr. Stark, we've traveled a long way
to see you.
To see you.
Well, I didn't come here just for him.
We didn't come here just for you. Don't flatter yourself. But my name's Ryan.
My name's Shane, and we're the Ghoul Boys.
Yeah, we're the Ghoul Boys, and we hear that you were kind of a dick.
That's a very light way of putting it.
Yeah. And then...
You didn't get along with your doctor?
And then...
He's just trying to look out for you. Their job is to make sure you live, and your doctor killed you.
Yeah.
What kind of asshole do you have to be? You know that violates the Hippocratic Oath.
It does. I haven't read the oath myself, but I'm pretty sure shooting somebody is against the oath.
I don't think they even put it in there. They don't say, hey, by the way, don't shoot your patient.
Anyways, James, now that we've really gone in on you, I hear that a woman was pushed down this set of stairs. It's not conclusive that it was you.
Stairs are tricky.
Well, so why don't you go ahead and push us?
Push me, I'm right here. I'm very top heavy. So you just give it
very
a
top
slight
heavy.
push.
Very top heavy.
How about it, James? You got anything to say? James Stark, that's who we're reaching out to right now. Are you here? I'm gonna give you some silence to show us that you're here and that you want to talk. You could say something, you could move something. How about it, James? All right, James. Since you don't want to talk to us right now, I'm going to bring out something that's really going to piss you off.
You're going to hate it. This is the one time that I'm glad we're using this. Because guess what, James? This sucks. This thing's fucking stupid, James. If you thought getting shot was bad, wait till you hear our spirit box.
Ah! All right. James, or any spirits who haunt this floor, who's up here with us?
Me.
Oh, I thought it said James.
My name's Ryan, that's Shane. Can you say our names back to us if you want to talk? Right now we're reaching out to James Stark specifically. Mr. Stark, do you have anything you want to say to us? Use this device to talk to us.
No,
Why not?
that one,
We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk.
Blue Diamond.
Go. What's the name of this building? Can I ask that again? What's the name of this building?
What city are we in?
turn it off. All right, James, we're moving to a different part of the building. You didn't want to talk to us. We're going to be around, though, so you know where to find us. We're going to be down the hall.
Feel free to really pound us.
Yeah. Or you can go fuck yourself. How about that?
Yeah, either or. Up to you, dick bag.
In the mid-1800s, violence escalated because of the many northern guests and political tensions at this time. There were allegedly violent outbursts between locals and hotel visitors. Reportedly, in 1860, a northerner visiting from New York named James Sinclair was lynched and nearly killed by locals who resented his presence in town.
What year was this?
This was 1860, around the time of the Civil War.
I feel like you should read the room when you're making vacation plans during the Civil War.
If you're a white dude like this guy was, I'm going to assume you could just go wherever you want. Just don't start saying, I fucking hate the South, I'm from the North.
I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy.
The hotel closed in 1864 at the onset of the Civil War, allegedly because the violence between the guests and the locals had reached a tipping point. Tour guides today actually warn guests to not taunt the ghosts too much, as they may become violent.
I find that the places that people consider most scary at all these places we go to, you're bathed in darkness. It's usually very quiet. I find it relaxing.
I don't know, people are normally just scared of very dark, decrepit places, but...
I was born in the darkness.
God, you just quote Bane?
Yeah, I did, it's fun.
Is there anybody here who's upset about what happened to them in this hotel that wants to talk to us right now? Because we'll hear you out. We're not here to hurt you. I know this guy's mustache suggests otherwise.
I wanted to bring up the mustache.
It's creepy, I get it.
I probably look like a lot of your friends.
That's probably true, actually.
Yeah, this is...
Is that what this is? You committed to the role?
I did this for the ghost hunting.
Yeah, that's what you did it for?
Yes, I'm a paranormal investigator, and I take my job seriously.
Weird, I remember you saying that, I was shaving my face, and then I stopped.
Well, I did. That's just a play-by-play of what happened.
That's the reason you stated before, but no, okay, now it's because you're a serious paranormal investigator. I get it.
Oh, hello there, ma'am. Aren't you sweeter than a dewdrop? Why, you look finer than honey butter on a June afternoon.
You just whisper?
No. Did I get a whisper?
Yeah, you did.
It's me, Banjo, your old pal from the bank. I saw you strolling with your son, Bradley.
Bradley.
Who is that? Those are people, right?
Yeah, that was like a whole ass
They're so
voice.
goddamn clear.
I don't hear people.
If anybody was talking, could you talk again?
That was a whole human being. That was like a real voice. That was not...
I'm gonna have to ask you to say that in a stupid voice.
Would any of y'all like to pull up a chair and join me in some conversation? Like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Well, we're gonna leave now. We're gonna go to a different part of the building.
Thank you kindly.
During the Civil War, the hotel served as a Confederate hospital, sometimes referred to as the River Battery Hospital. Some say the building was used as a hospital for soldiers from both the North and the South.
So now we're heading up to the 4th floor. Definitely one of the more active areas of this bar. This is where the hospital used to be.
Oh, okay.
So, yellow fever patients, mostly children.
Yeah.
And of course, Civil War soldiers.
Okay.
We already had our static cam set up here, so it's been recording all night. This seems like a good place to turn off our lights because it truly is dark in here.
Okay. You want to kill him?
Why don't we do that, and then we'll reach out. If there's anybody up here, you could say something.
You could scream.
Bang on something. There are rumors that this was a Confederate hospital. You have anything to say about that? You angry you lost the war? You lost your life? I get it.
I get it. I don't think you do, Ryan.
Are there any kids up here? Sorry we scared you before.
Yeah, we're fun. We're nice guys.
I know you're sick. Do you wanna play? It doesn't matter if you got the yellow fever. We got it too?
We got it too. That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I know. It felt weird.
I feel like this season you've gotten very aggressive with the ghosts in a way that maybe betrays your belief.
How's that?
I feel like if you truly believed in them, you'd be a little more respectful.
Imagine you went to lunch with someone, and the whole time you're like, oh, so how was your day? How'd you get here? You got stuff to do after this?
To be fully accurate here, you'd have to be sitting at a table alone, staring at no one, asking them questions.
Well, I'm comparing it because ghosts to me are people, so then it would be to me like going on an outing with somebody and the whole time they say nothing. Eventually you're gonna be like, hey,
what the fuck's wrong with you?
What's the deal here?
Over time, the building would become a coal and lumber warehouse, a supply store, and now, in present day, Moon River Brewing Company. Let's go over some of the other hotspots of the building. The restaurant area is said to be a place where servers report being touched or pushed by unseen figures, and bottles/silverware have reportedly been seen being pushed off of tables by unknown forces. Startlingly, the apparition of a woman from the 1800s was spotted walking across the crowded bar. A bartender thought she was an actress or a reenactor about to order a drink. However, she disappeared in front of his eyes as she reached the bar. There were reportedly many other witnesses to this incident, and as she disappeared, it's reported a hush fell over the room.
Here we are in the restaurant now.
We hear that somebody likes to walk around down here. We're walking around too, just exploring. I want to know why you're still here.
Okay, I think
Little
it's
girl?
pretty much done.
What'd you do?
Does anybody want to
Drop my headphones.
see this?
Did you drop them or did they get
I dropped
tugged off your head?
Gotta stay,
I'm gonna do a quick flashlight.
busy
What if
while I
I
stream.
pan my flashlight over there, there's a face. Here we go.
Why would you think that would happen?
I don't know.
I don't know, maybe.
Worth a shot.
You never know.
That same woman
Why
has
not
also
take
been
chances?
seen on the top of the first floor
okay, right?
stairs. She was spotted by a manager who reportedly asked her if he could help her, which startled her, and then she vanished.
I'm gonna go to the top of the stairs.
Okay, good luck.
It'd be really unfortunate if someone snuck up on me right now.
Push him
If anybody
as hard
wants
as you
this,
can.
they can
You
have
can do
it.
that
You
if you
just
want.
have to
Make him tumble.
DM me and
Rock
I'll
me
mail
down
it
these
to you.
stairs.
Push him down the stairs.
What now?
Look, I'll make myself an easier target. How about that?
Ryan, yell, show me the money.
What do you mean? Why am I doing that? Why am I quoting Jerry Maguire?
Well, the money is like the, metaphorical evidence.
All right. Show me the money!
Yeah, there you
Let's
go.
go! Come on.
What are you doing?
I'm dancing. Well, they don't like my dancing. Do you like the dancing?
It's not great.
Give me the business. Come on.
Give me the business.
Come on. Me
Come
the
on.
business. Give me the business. This has been fun.
I'm not sure. This is a very serious ghost investigation.
There is one well-known ghost who they call Toby, who is often seen in the basement. Some have referred to him as a negative spirit, while current staff have characterized him as a young boy. A bartender has also seen a shadowy black figure emerge from the wall. In this spot, one local woman was attacked. She recalls the incident saying that she was alone in the back room in the basement when she felt someone choking
doing
her
down
and
there,
pushing
bro?
her backward.
Do you
One
know this place
prominent
is
paranormal
haunted?
investigator
Come
reported
on
being
now.
momentarily possessed in this particular room. Could this dark figure be Toby? Toby.
Hey, Toby. Toby, what's down in this basement? Why do people feel so oppressed down here?
Toby, are you
I don't know.
actually
It's just the
Lucifer?
vibe. What?
Is there actually a boy named Toby down here? People say they see you. We're here just to talk. We want to play, actually.
Yeah.
Want to come play with us?
If you don't, you're going to be in
No.
big trouble. Tobster?
They're definitely not scared of you, Shane.
Can you move something to show us you want to play?
What's Toby doing hanging around a basement of a bar?
Why are you
It
down
wasn't
here,
always a
Toby?
bar.
Why are you down here, Toby? What are you doing down here?
Why do you choose to stay down here?
What are you doing down here?
Doing some weird Hardy Boys stuff?
Especially if there's something dark down here. Why are you here? Is there something down here that scares you? What was that?
It's so much moving around.
Maybe you're intimidated by the both of us, so we're gonna split up. We're gonna investigate this one by one.
What do you think of that?
And you could do whatever you want to us, I guess.
Could really fuck with us then. Alright, I'm down here in the basement now, all by my lonesome. Where'd my Toby go? Tobster! Tobster!
I'm sure he really doesn't
I know
enjoy
there
that.
are ghouls here.
I'm gonna be honest, this may be famous last words, but I'm not very scared of what's down there.
I think sometimes there's value
We'll
to
see when you get down
darkness.
there, Ryan.
So I'm just gonna turn off my light and sit here, stare down at this empty room. Maybe someone will see that as an invitation. Maybe a dark entity in general would like to possess me. I'm a pretty good candidate. Come on.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Shane comes back up and he's like, I saw a fucking ghost?
Don't be afraid of my mustache, Toby.
It's the mustache, Shane. It's
series
100% the
over?
mustache.
Is that the end of Unsolved?
Come on. I've only got a couple more minutes, guys. Shit or get off the pot.
5 minutes is a long time for something to happen to me down there without Shane realizing it. I could have been choked to death by then, so.
No? Nothing? Okay.
I could have been choked to death by then.
How was it?
What?
How was it?
It was great.
What if you call out for me down there? I don't respond, and when you find me, I'm just standing in the corner.
I'm gonna close the door and leave.
Close the
You
door
just
and
leave
leave.
me?
Yeah.
Why?
If you're possessed, we're not taking you home.
Damn, Shane.
Well, this is kind of horrifying. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit, actually.
Is it the walls?
I felt nothing down there. To be fair, I feel nothing everywhere we go. But this place more so than usual. Will Ryan have better luck?
Probably not.
Maybe. He's insane.
Maybe.
All right. Who's down here in this basement? Huh? Who? Did I hear Toby?
You sure didn't.
Who's
Hear
down
Toby.
here in this basement? My name's Ryan. Can you say Ryan back? Use this device to talk to me, or show yourself, I guess. What was that? Is there anybody down here with me? Looks like this ain't working. Gonna go straight EVP now.
I don't know, Ryan's been a little too confident tonight, I think. It doesn't suit him. It's obviously annoying when he's walks around being, I've heard stories about floating candlesticks. But when the pendulum swings in the other direction, he's pretty insufferable. So I think we much prefer terrorized Ryan. Will the basement put him in his place? It solely depends on how much he gets in his own head.
Yeah.
Because his mind is his own worst enemy.
100%. Psychs himself out before anything happens.
And it's my greatest ally.
Who's down here in this basement? Why do you haunt this basement? What happened to you? Toby? Are you actually a little boy? Do I want to know the answer to that question? Gonna turn my light off. Here we go. Anybody down here with me? I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk. I hear people see you all the time. Got the chills right now, actually. So I wonder if that means anything. Why do you hurt people? Fuck, man. Who's down here with me?
This place seems like the
Why do I
least
feel like I'm
haunted.
being watched? Oh boy. Who's down here?
That's your time, Ryan.
Oh, that's my time? Huh, I feel like you extended my time again.
I think that's healthy for you. Did you get all worked up down there?
A little bit.
Did you? Whoa, hey. I'm pretty pissed we didn't get to hang out with Toby.
I'm a little glad we didn't get to hang out with Toby.
Toby's
But,
obviously
yeah,
shy.
in the long run, I'm probably angry we didn't get to hang out with Toby. Another investigation in the books. What do you got to say about this one?
We fucking nailed it.
Moon River Brewing Company has plenty of rich history as a hotel and a hospital. After numerous accounts of paranormal activity, it's not a far stretch to say that some patrons and patients never checked out. But whether or not Moon River Brewing is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
Unsolved. Alright, everybody and anybody who's lurking and still hanging out, that's going to be it for me today. I appreciate everybody who stopped in, said hi, didn't say hi. Anybody who's lurking, I appreciate it. I definitely want to say thank you to my old friend for the subscription. I appreciate you greatly. Every tiny little bit helps in every way. So thank you again, and I will hopefully be back. I want to say Tuesday because Monday I have an obligation, so Tuesday. Maybe if my fiance doesn't get too crazy in the background, I'll do a night stream. Other than that, I will see everybody later, and I hope you all have an amazing day.
I've done you wrong in the past, blamed it all on you. Went and wrote about it in your rap songs. Well, you had every right to. I guess love is learning every day. We both far from perfect, but I'm here to stay, cause you know what I know. We better this way. Through all the hard times, no, we'll be okay. Endless emotion in all that I do. Light in the dark times, you helping me through. With every day that I spend with you, can honestly say that I'm better with you. I'm better with you, I'm better with you. With all that I do. I'm better with you. I'm better with you. I'm better with you. With all that I do. I'm better with you. Endless emotion
in all that I do.
light in the dark times, you helping me through. With every day that I spend with you, can honestly say that I'm better with you.
On this special bonus episode of 7 Saturdays to a More Fire-Resistant Home, we will be showing you how to develop and execute a Ready, Set, Go game plan so that you are ready, set, and able to go when an emergency happens.
See, you sound just like an angel. When I see you, I feel my heart release to tempo. Girl, you turn